Hello everybody, how are we doing today? I had to get on here because God is doing a lot right now. I mean a whole bunch. And God been telling me to speak. And I sometimes God speaks so loud. And the visions, the clarity is so strong that I still be in denial because it's that serious. It's that the confirmation, right? After confirmation, after confirmation, after confirmation, after confirmation, after confirmation. Now, I am going to start off by saying, I don't know what God is doing yet with me. And it's a whole bunch of more of us out here. I don't know why he took me down certain paths that he took me down and brought me out. But he did. It's crazy, my locks. The car is on and the lock's just locked. He said, you ain't getting out of here till you get this message out. Y'all. I just don't even know where to begin at. It's places I been to. Things that I seen. Things that I participated in. But I don't even know how I got there. Right? And I do want to say that sometimes God will take us through in two paths and take us back in there and take us back out. So we can see something, right? And when it's time for us to come out, you still stay in there, you'll begin to see things go completely and utterly wrong. That's the best way I can put it. And so I just want to say too, like, pay attention when God is trying to bring you out and you're still staying in, and it's constantly getting chaotic and more chaotic. It's time to come out. Open up your eyes. And I know sometimes it could be hard, especially when you're in there, right? No matter what it is. Now, I'm not the saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. I was raised in church. I came out of church. I went back into church. I done watched tarot. I done went back in church. I done came out of church. I done bought crystals. I done went back in church. Came out of church. And one thing my grandmother said to me was, Moo, I don't care what you do. Just get your own relationship with God. It ain't about the church. It ain't about this. It ain't about that. It's your relationship with God, right? I just see them lights dim in and out. The devil don't like when you start talking about God. And that's why it's very dangerous to have one foot in and one foot out. Your life is at stake. I need somebody to hear me when I say that when they say straddling the fence, right? It ain't really got nothing to do with the church folk, right? It's in the way that we deliver it. And a lot of times they don't deliver it right. And are they hollering and screaming? And one thing that God has been working on me with is the way I deliver things, right? Because I can come off like very strong, hooting and hollering, and, you know, carrying on. God has been working with me on delivery and a whole bunch of other things, right? A lot of us are innocent, right? We're very innocent, but we're not, because the Bible is there to guide us. And you will have somebody tell you, oh, they messed with it and they did this and they took this out and another man did this and he wrote that. And out of all the paths that I go down, I get led right back to God, to Jesus, to Yahweh, to Jehovah. I go down, I done been out, y'all. I done been down the paths. You hear me? I have been down these paths. And it all leads me back to God, no matter what path. And so God is doing something with me. I don't know why. I kind of do though, right? You know, my heart cries out to God. A lot of our hearts cry out to God. But we want to go do what it is that we want to do, or we can't control the impulse of what it is that we even want to do sometimes, right? God has given me so much. I mean, so much. I mean, the stories that I got, y'all mouth will be hanging open and somebody gonna call me a lie. She's a god dang on lie. Right? I have been summoned into places to see things. And I said, God, why are these people trying to block me left and right? And God said, it don't matter what they do, because I am the end all, the be all. I have to say. The reason why they can block you left and right is because you're straddling the fence. My video got cut off because let me tell y'all something. I could sit in the house all day like I've been doing. It's becoming nighttime. It is like 7 something or 8 something at night. Nobody really called me at all. I had one phone call today. Not even the bill collectors called me this Sunday, but they normally call me on a Sunday. 7 days a week they calling with something. And it's spam calls. It's not the bill collectors, but it's spam callers. And but anyways, let me not get distracted, because that's what the enemy wants. You don't want this message out. I was praying to God, and I was praying to God, and I was praying. And as I'm praying, I'm seeing all this stuff manifest, right? I'm seeing demons. I'm seeing flies, right? And I was in my house, and I'm like, where is it? I called it the Lord of the Flies. I said, where is the Lord of the Flies coming from? Right? It started off with gnats. And then after all these gnats, I finally cleared those out. Then come the flies. Then after I cleared the flies out, then here come the moths. And I'm clearing those out, right? And I said, God, what is going on? What in the world is this, right? As long as I've been out on my own, I have never seen nothing like this. This is crazy, right? And it comes a point where you look at something, you say, oh, it's just the seasons, right? You know, some things are normal, right? Gnats, you got fruit, it's normal. You ain't got no fruit, and there's gnats all over the house. And then after you get rid of those, it's flies. And then after you get rid of those, it's moths. I mean, come on, you know. And so I began to pray. And I said, God, what is going on here, right? And I finally got rid of the moths. And somebody walked into my house. And when they walked in, a trail of moths came behind them, y'all. I got this on camera now. But it ain't that I was trying to say, look. It was that I was already recording a video. And I look up, and I'm like, what the heck? And these things was following this person. Following. And they was leaving conglomerates of clusters of them behind. This is out of nowhere, right? And so I said, what the heck is this? And God said that person, look at my lights is dim. That person has went into an unclean spirit. That person now has an unclean spirit on them. And so by that person now having an unclean spirit on them, now I have to watch being around them, right? And this is out of control because it's my roommate. And I looked and I said, oh my God. And so I grabbed the Bible, and thank God, because I was praying for a couple of days. And I said, God, this is ridiculous. Do you know that I watched a demon manifest in this person? I watched a demon manifest in this person. This person, after they came in the house with these Lord of the Flies on them, looking like Lord of the Flies, I turned around and I looked at them, and their eyes looked dead. Like I gotta watch what I say on this here thing. Like they looked, y'all know what I'm talking about, like that. They're gone, right? Before this incident, God kept telling me, legions, for we are many. I didn't know why God was saying that. And do y'all know that after God gave me that, I came across a video scrolling, and I seen a video of somebody talking about the legions, for we are many. Then I came across another video where the guy was talking about ChatGPT, and he was having a discussion with ChatGPT, and I kept saying, God, what demons is these? What demons is these? God will communicate with us through all type of things, right? What type of demons is this, right? And on this video, the man had began to name demons, and so while that man named those demons, I kept pausing the video and calling out the demons and rebuking them. You know, because, if you're watching a video and they say this demon, that demon, that demon, they talking their name 4 videos. I had to rewind the video. I mean, named off like 4 different demons. And so I had to rewind the video to capture every last one of their names and stop and call the names of these demons out to rebuke them one by one. And after I did that, y'all, my cameras in my house started messing up, right? And I seen something, y'all, look, somebody out there ain't gonna believe me, okay? I on my cameras, I'm seeing something swarming on the cameras, right? And I said, what the heck? What the heck is that, right? And this person standing there, looking at the cameras, I don't see it. I don't see it. But my spirit was telling me this person sees this, right? They see it. And they went back later on and tried to rewind the cameras, and look, they synced it. But you know, that person left the house. This individual left the house, and they went and grabbed them some beers. I ain't think nothing of nothing. I'm still recording my video. Watching these flies get bigger, and these moths, they got bigger. Then I seen that. Everything was just it started out with a little bitty old swarm of them. I just couldn't believe my eyes. Y'all, I got a video of this. Just swarming. Y'all ever seen Charlie Brown? Y'all ever seen Charlie Brown and his friend that drags around that cover? And he got that funky smoke around him. It's that funk smoke, that dirty funky smoke around him with the flies. That's what I seen. And I'm like tripping out, right? Ain't nobody gonna believe me. Ain't nobody gonna believe me, right? Yo. Oh my God. So I left it alone. The person went and took them a shower downstairs. We got 2 showers in the house. So I'm upstairs. The person went downstairs. They went downstairs. They turned the music up as I'm recording the video talking about Jesus. Turned the music up. It's doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, I'm trying not to get upset, right? Because it make you mad. If you see me doing the video talking about God, why would you go down there and turn the thing up, right? And at this point, I'm trying to stay humble, right? I'm trying to stay okay. Because we human. Like a lot of people, like, you know, because the Lord and, you know, I'm me, okay? I can't be nobody else but me, okay? And so, I'm trying to remain calm. Yo, you gotta laugh to stop from crying sometimes, okay? And I said, God, why? God said, because you made a decision without my consent and without coming to me first. I said, but God, I came to you for months and you ain't answered me. All the roads was blocked. He said, but do you know why they was blocked? Because if that individual was in your face. Ooh. Y'all, he took me back to the day I don't care how much you tapped into God. I don't care if you a pastor, preacher. I don't care what you are. If you got somebody around you with a strong enough demon, it can stop everything. Everything. God, and it's not to hurt or harm you. A lot of times God be trying to get your attention. Hey, look at that right there. Look at that right there. You think God communicating with you, and it ain't communicating. He ain't communicating. He just looking at you. Is he not seeing what I'm trying to show them? No, God, I did not. And so, y'all, I gotta calm down, okay? Because this is not funny. But I always, y'all, this person leaves the house, go get them some beer. I thought they was leaving, so I was thinking, God, thank you, Jesus. You know, you just did it for me. You know, you got them on out there. Just go on, Lord. Just take them out the house, right? Get them on down the street. Let them not come back for 20 hours. And, yo, some people be praying for people to stay in the house. This is that. No, you stay outside in the name of Jesus. And so, anyways, y'all, this person go grab some beers. I'm still saying what I'm saying, but what's crazy is this entity normally leaves, right? This entity normally leaves, and I have to call it what it is. It wasn't entity at first. I watched it manifest before my eyes, y'all. I watched this manifest before my eyes. I seen it coming, right? This person was leaving themselves open for it. I'm watching this with my own 2 eyes. And so, the fact that I was talking about God, it was revving him up. It was revving him up. And I'm just minding my business, right? And I'm not even paying attention. I'm just so busy talking about God, talking about Jesus, talking about what God showed me. And this person, demon, was manifesting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because I was talking about Jesus, y'all. I seen this with my own 2 eyes. The person left and they hurt and got right back to the house. Right back. You hear me? It got right back to the house. And so I didn't think nothing. But I kind of thought to myself, it was like one of them quick thoughts in the back of your subconscious, like, that's crazy. You normally would have leave and stay gone all night. Man, why you have to come back tonight, right? It was just one of those subconscious thoughts, like, you could have stayed outside. I ain't Jesus. You understand? I'm not Jesus. I'm not got time to be manifesting, putting no demons out of people. I ain't fully equipped. Oh my God. This person comes back, they start drinking their beers, and they went from being downstairs, because this is a duplex, they went from being downstairs to up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. And every time they up and down the stairs, they have a beer in their hand. This is not a person that's an alcoholic. This is not what I'm, this is the, it was already on them, but they started to drink, right? This is the thing. The person is not an alcoholic, right? They just had them a beer every now and again. They might drink every now and again. But the fact that it was already on them, I don't know what they did, where they went, don't care. But wherever they went, it had the legions. It had one of the legions. Y'all don't know if the legions is together all the time or if they disperse out and then manifest, right? Whew. This person, I watched it manifest, y'all. And being that this thing had started drinking, it began to, I'm going to say person, right? Being that this person had started drinking and it was already there, even if it wasn't entered into the being yet, even if it still had a level of shielding, I watched the barrier break down. It was already like around them. It was already around them like, ooh, I can't, like it was sniffing it out. Ooh, hurry up. Ooh, like it was, I'm telling you, y'all cannot make this up. Like this thing was around this person sniffing at it. Ooh, hurry up, right? And this person had no fight in them. Right? Because they don't believe in the word of God like that. Even though they was raised this way and raised that way. It is went out. This is why my grandmother said you have to have your own relationship with God, right? I got to watch this thing manifest. Like I got to watch this thing, be around this person for like a while, right? I didn't even know that. I kept saying, there's something about these flies ain't right. Something about these gnats ain't right. Something about these moths. It's just not right. This is too many. I'm in here at fight. I'm punching them at this point. This is how big it was starting to manifest, right? I can reach out and grab a moth with my hand. So this person started to drink, and I started to hear snarling in my spirit. And I look up, I'm still talking about God, right? Still talking about Jesus. And at about the 7th, 8th time, right? This person walked past. I don't even know how many times it was, so don't quote me. But I know it was on down some, right? It wasn't like the first instant. It probably was about the 6th beer in. I'm hearing snarling, right? But I'm ignoring it because I'm talking about God and I'm talking about Jesus. Yo, I can hear snarling. I heard snarling. I turn around and I look. And I'm looking at this person pacing back and forth up and down the stairs through the house. And I keep on talking. I kept trying to ignore it. And I know this ain't manifesting up in my face. I know this can't be possible. Up and down the stairs. Up and down the stairs. And so, y'all, I continue to talk about God. I continue to tell my story. And this thing kept manifesting. And I finally look up. I'm minding my business. Talking about Jesus and God. And this person was like, oh, are you going to be on that phone all night? I said, yeah. I'm talking about Jesus and God. Yes. God got a word for me to get out. Oh, okay. What? You ain't running nothing, man. Go downstairs with your beer. This is how these things try to get you to. Now you feeding off it too. And now you out there. You get what I'm saying? I would have jumped all on you. This is what legions is, right? Legions, for we are many, right? Just I'm saying, do not lower yourself down today. Don't, because it's so easy, y'all. It's so easy for y'all to lower yourselves down to that mode, right? For that thing to drag you in, and now you're defending yourself from something that you had no business even defending yourself in. This is legions. This is legion. It was going to jump straight on me, and I knew it. I said, oh, no, bro, I ain't about to be walking around here with them flies on me. Lord of the Flies, right? It was trying to manifest on me, y'all. It was following me. It was following me around. Yes, it was. Oh, I can't wait. It was like on me. I don't care about you talking about no Jesus. I don't care about you talking about God. I can't wait until you lower yourself down enough so I can jump in you. I can't wait. This thing was sniffing around me because it already had got what it wanted out of that. This is how these things manifest. I don't care about you talking about Jesus. I don't care about you talking about God. I don't care about none of that. If you lower yourself down, if you raise your blood pressure up, I am going to jump straight into you. You understand? And I'm going to have a good time. A long time and a good time. Because it's going to take so long for you to get me out and figure it out. And by the time I manifest in your mind, you'll be completely gone. You will not be able to fight back. Unless somebody else walk up on you. You understand? Look at this. Unless somebody else walk up on you and see it and manifest it out of you. And some of y'all is strong enough to be able to go sit inside of a church, even with those things. Some people are sitting right in the church with them on them. You understand? So you got to be careful who you allow to lay their hands on you. For jump off in you. Y'all, it is, get your relationship with God. Get your relationship with God. And it's really bad right now. It's really bad. Like the demons, they have no chill. They out here using us like bounty houses. It's not funny, but I'm just saying. I watched it at the workplace. Like, it was already around me. It was manifesting around me. And by that person, let me tell you how legions. This is what God was showing me, y'all. I'm not all the way 100% correct, but I'm telling y'all what I seen. Now, I don't know what this person when it did, who they want to lay with. Because I almost feel like that person when it laid with somebody that had that type of thing on them. They went up in somewhere. They laid up in somewhere. They did something. But whatever they did, they was in low vibrations, low spirits at that time. And they came back here with that thing. And it began to manifest day by day by day. Second by minute by hour. This is this thing. And then once it got it in that, it had done its job. And it's manifesting every day. Holy Spirit, remove me in the name of Jesus. You understand me? Go and give me that house. Lord, I cannot do these conditions anymore. Yo, it had got on to that person. It couldn't get me because I'm like, Lord, I see it, right? I see it, Lord. So I kept myself in high hopes. It followed me to work, and I watched it jump on everybody in the job. The man came up to me, called me the N-word. I turned around like, what? Right? It took for me to leave, to leave there, for me to figure out what was actually going on. Right? Oh, y'all. It jumped on the supervisor. He rolling around on motorcycles drinking. He didn't turn yellow from drinking so much. Oh, the other girl, she didn't have her own self-identity. She didn't have her own identity. She walking around, had burgundy hair, and she come the next day with burgundy hair, and she talking like, this was what she doing in my face. Cracking up. And then she laying with her little innocent boyfriend, and it jumped on him. It jumped on everybody in the job except for about 2 or 3 people. And it was covered up under the blood of Jesus. Except all them people, it jumped on, it got on, and freely was in that bug showing out. They called me from the place and said, your assignment is up. I said, thank you in the name of Jesus, amen. And she said, we'll find you something else. I thank you in the name of Jesus, amen. Because I just watched something manifest that ain't none of y'all gonna understand. And I can't even say it to y'all because y'all will try to lock me up in the loony bin. If the owner go back and look at those cameras, he will see a demon manifested in that place. He wouldn't even be able to wrap his, unless he's tapped in a guy, he wouldn't be able to wrap his mind around what he's saying. What is the people doing? Why is they all following her? I watched it jumped on one person at a time. I think I said in another video that, I worked at another job many years ago. And when I worked in this job, it was a lady that was at least about 400 pounds, 300 something, 400 pounds. And it was a little bitty old 2-inch pole. And she had such a bad demon on her. Yo, at that time, I didn't know it was demons and all this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? She's standing behind the pole, squeezed in like this. And she's bigger than, y'all stop playing with me. And she looking over at me like this. For hours. I'm like, I'm looking at you. It was so bad that everybody working with me felt so uncomfortable from her actions. Like, what is going on up in here? Do you have to understand the weirdness, the level of uncomfortability that people got to see happen? That they was uncomfortable from looking at what was happening. It was a demon manifested, but see, I knew, but I didn't know, right? I wasn't able to put it together like I am now. Everybody in there got a demon jumped on from one person. One person. That is the legions, y'all. And how I know that it's the legions, because it came across my phone too many times. Even all the way up until I did this video. I'm listening to this video. It pops up on my phone. And I said, what is this? Click on it. And I'm driving with my headphones. And it's talking about how Jesus went across to see this man who had legions on him. And that all them demons was tormenting one man's soul. And when they seen Jesus, they began to beg and plead because they didn't want to go to the bottomless pit. Or the endless bottomless pit. Tormenting, shredding this man. They said he was cutting himself with rocks and stuff. This is what I'm watching it. Loading up the clip. Paranoid, loading up the clip. You go inside somebody when they got a clip sitting there with bullets all over the place. You're like, what's this? What is you doing, man? Why is this over here? Ain't nobody after you, man. That demon said, take you out in her. Take you in them. Y'all got to be careful out here. Be careful who you entertaining. Be careful who you becoming roommates with. Be careful what jobs you're working for. Be careful. This is not the time for it. It's like, God, I gotta go get a box. I gotta go get a cart, a shopping cart, a is that bad. You will go around somebody and wonder why everything in your life is falling and you guys cannot put it together, but y'all ain't understanding that it's the person that you let in your life. Even all the way up until you live where you live. Your landlord is out here doing foul stuff to people. They got the landlord doing foul stuff to people, right? And then you sitting there and you paying her, right? But that's sowing and investing into an enemy of God. People is... Somebody ain't about to like what I'm saying. I'm just saying. Going up into a work, right? These big companies, and the person you working for is a Satanist. Woo, look, you see the light? Woo, it just came in and I said, woo, found me, you understand? The light's been flickering since I've been in here. The lights have been flickering since I've been in the car. Whew. God, I just don't know. God, I'm just a little bitty old person that's trying to find my way, Lord, with you, and that's it. I just don't be wanting to do none of this, God. None of it. And then I'm sitting in the house, and then I'm trying to show y'all something. Y'all couldn't even post a video because I couldn't stop crying. My eyes just went down from crying. God been showing me numbers, signs, synchronicities, and I said, God, what is these numbers? I'm all on the internet trying to figure out what the numbers is. I'm up here talking about angel numbers this, angel numbers that, right? And I said, God, ain't none of this making sense. It just ain't making sense. It ain't none of it making sense, God. No. Not even the Bible scriptures. Not even the Bible scriptures is making sense. I'm talking about like what other people are talking about it, right? Click on YouTube. What does this mean? What does this mean? And some of it did make sense, but some of it, what God was trying to tell me about it wasn't clicking with me. It wasn't just settling, right? And so I'm on a search to find. And so y'all, I look, 333 was shown to me. 333. I have to use this a whole bunch of other numbers, but 333. God was just screaming and hollering. 333. I said, God, the time. 333. Everywhere I turn. 333. I said, God, what is it? 333. What is this? God, I'm not understanding what you're saying. You keep screaming, you keep hollering, you keep showing me, but I don't understand. God, you see me looking. I'm looking high and low. Up under the boulder, up under the rock, everywhere. I don't know, God. I don't know. What do you want me to know about 333? Y'all, I got so tired. I got so frustrated. God showing me 333. What do you want? What do you want, God? I don't know. Y'all be getting frustrated. He been working with me on that too, right? And so, y'all, I finally sat in the house, y'all, and I was sitting there one day, and I'm always going through something, just always, right? And I'm okay with that because God always on me, right? He be on the back of my neck like a Baba Yaga. Just what do you want? Yo, I finally sat there and I said, you know what? I'm tired of this, y'all. This is what I did 2 days ago, sitting on the couch, y'all, and I couldn't even post a video because I couldn't stop crying. I mean, I could not stop crying. Do y'all know? I was telling the same story, not the same exact story, but about I was trying to show y'all how I go into the Bible and I say, God, give me a word, any word, the words you want me to have, and I open up the Bible, y'all. But I was trying to show y'all an example, and in the midst of me trying to show y'all the example, a number that came to me that I had been looking for that I couldn't find again, and I couldn't believe that it happened right then and there, right? I about passed out, and it was about 10:10, and it was talking about it was I don't want to make up a thing, but it was 10:10, but it said in the 10th hour, in the 10th day, in the 10th hour, and the 10th month. Wait a minute, y'all. I ain't gonna make it up because I folded up it. So give me a second. I don't want to make up stuff. I ain't gonna add to or take from. So I'm gonna go up there. But it was talking about was it Jerusalem, Israel? Wrong, one of them, y'all. But then I end up turning to Lamentations. Another number that God gave me showed up in there. Y'all, I was freaking out, right? But he gave me the one about. It said something about, and she would be on a stone. She would go and boil the pot of bones. And he was telling them about boiling some meat and some bones, and then let it turn to char, and then pour it out on something. And y'all, but it was a number that he gave me, and I couldn't stop crying because it was talking about what he was doing with the country, one of these countries, and it's happening right now. What he's doing with one of those countries, I can't remember which country it was, y'all. I said, what's happening over in such and such right now? Because I don't watch the news and stuff. I don't get off into that. It's too depressing. But a word is a word, right? Then I went on ahead and it talked about the man's wife, and it said that he couldn't mourn, he couldn't cry. God gave him specific instructions, and everybody was wondering why he wasn't crying or none of that. Then I went to Lamentations, and then it was 2:22, and then I went into it was too much to explain, y'all. But it was. Then I went somewhere else, and the pages started turning by themselves, y'all. I got it on camera. Turning by themselves, and landed me about the prophet and how God said that if you don't go and tell them that that they sins will be on your hand, they death will be on your hands. It's too much, y'all. It's too much. And I was crying, and I was boo-hooing because I don't want to see this. And he talked about how he called in the one guy, and that he made him eat the scripture, and he made him eat the scroll. And when he made him eat the scroll, y'all, before I even got to the part, my stomach was rumbling. I got a video on this. I couldn't stop crying, y'all. I don't want to post it. But as I'm reading the scripture out loud, I never read the scripture before. My stomach started growling. And so I said, oh, y'all, excuse me, my stomach is growling. And when my stomach started growling, then I kept reading, and it got down to the part of the scroll and how the guy ate the scroll and became full from the scroll. And he said it tasted sweet like honey, but it was bitter, basically, right? Because of the message that he had to go and deliver. But it's crazy because in the midst of me reading this, I hadn't even got down there, and I started talking about how my stomach was growling. Y'all, it freaked me out. And so, y'all, it'd be too much, okay? It's too much. Because sometimes I don't even want to believe I'm hurt. But one day, I was explaining about how one day I was sitting there and God kept showing me this number, and I'm complaining and I'm going through stuff and I'm complaining and I'm going through stuff and I'm going through stuff and I'm complaining and I'm complaining and I'm going through stuff and I'm saying, God, I don't know what this means. And I'm looking high and low. Somebody just walked past my car, the back of my car, y'all. It's dark, so I got to pay attention. But I'm looking high and low, y'all. I'm looking. And one day I finally sit there, excuse me, guys, and I say, God, give me a word, any word, the word you want me to have, y'all. And I open up the Bible, and it says Esther on there. And I began to read Esther. And as I began to read Esther, I went to turning it to the next page. But when I went to turn to the next page, before I turned, I looked up at the top, and it said 333. And it was about the story of Esther, y'all. I was freaking out. It's like, God, you can't be communicating to me like this, right? This is wrong, right? This is not happening right now. It was 333, and it was about the story of Esther, right? Y'all, it's too much. And so, y'all, God is real. He is real. I want y'all to hear me, right? It's like, I want to make you shove it down y'all throat to make y'all eat it. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. God, why? And then I can't do nothing. Y'all. I can't do anything. Anything I do is like a punishment. I get punished for it. You know, like you go out and you can go out and you go kick it. I mean, I would get punished. I'd be in the hospital the next day. God said, I told you, didn't I not tell you? I want you for myself. Y'all, that is so true about God being, they say God is stingy. Y'all, that is for real. When God wants you, it ain't nothing you can do about it. It ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't fight. You can't do nothing. You can hide. You can go up under the covers. You ain't got to come out the house. But one day, God is like the boogeyman. God is the boogeyman. God is Baba Yaga. Out of all the things I want to go do, God, I want to go live my life. I'm going to praise you in the midst of it, Lord. And we going to do it like this. God like, oh, yeah. Yeah, God like, oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. There's some stuff. What is up there? We got stars in the sky, something flying up there, y'all. Y'all, I just don't know. I don't even know what God wants from me. What do you want from me? I pray. I talk to God. I be over here looking at this. God said, I don't want you looking at that. I be wanting to look at it, God. Y'all ain't funny. I'm telling y'all. I can't get away with nothing. I've been like this since I've been a kid, though. I could never get away with nothing. Nothing. I get caught doing anything, everything, just everything. I was always caught. In the first, it's like God don't want me doing it. I don't want you doing that because you make a habit out of it. Then I got to bring you back out of that when you got something to do, right? A lot of us, though. Not just me. Y'all, I be so mad. I be kicking and screaming. No. Everybody else get to do what they want to do. God, let me do it too. I want kicking and screaming. He gonna drag me kicking and screaming, hollering. You hear me? Somebody like, she's laughing. You gotta laugh. Honey, you gotta laugh. You better be lucky this ain't yours. And watch who you talking about for you end up in the same situation and you be kicking and screaming, talking about God, you wanna do what you wanna do. And God wants you for something. And he wants you put up for something. You keep your mouth off people for you find yourself being put up and kept. I don't care if you a whole prostitute. I don't care what you out there doing. Find yourself, you put your mouth on somebody, you will find yourself being put up. You're gonna be kept, well kept. And you're going to be trained to be well kept. Sergeant style. Boot camp. I've been in boot camp since I came out of the womb. And anybody that was in God's way got taken out of the way. Since I've been a kid. My mama went to jail. My daddy went to jail. When I look at all of it. My mom went to jail for murder. My daddy went to jail for, I don't know, about the same thing. She did 7, my dad did 13. But they had to get out of God's way. Somebody is not going to like what I'm saying. Because I need you to do something. With y'all parents hindering y'all kids, and God got something for them to do, he will get you out of the way. You got to go. When God want that, when he sent that one down here to do something, you ain't nobody. You ain't nobody. You ain't nothing, man. You people with y'all kids, my babies. And you trying to show to them, and God got something, you will get moved, kicked, and butted out of the way. If he got to lock you up too, you got to go. Because he sent that one down here to do something. And you was just a portal to bring it through here. That was it. I came through pimps, hoes, prostitutes, robbers, killers, thieves. Me, I did. It could have became all those things. Amen. And God said, I need her to do something. And I will move all y'all out the way to get her where she need to go. I don't care how she was raised. These two was fit enough to do the job. At least enough. A little bit. Just to get her where she need to go. Boy, you ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. And not even me. Ain't nobody. It's what God wants. I let go of the kids. I had to learn the hard way. I'm that mother that's trying to do everything right. Single mama doing everything right. I felt like. My kids still do what she want to do. How she want to do it. But I said, you know what, God? And I was trying to hang on. Especially because my son had passed away. At a month and a half, God called him on. But even when my son comes, people say, oh, look at her. Her son passed away. She was doing something wrong. Witch. Burn a witch. Not knowing, you better keep your mouth up off of people. You better keep your mouth up off people. For you find yourself fighting for your life. I heard so many stories about me. It was only one person that called me and said something. They say, hey, how you doing today? I said, I'm doing all right. How you feeling today? I'm all right. Nobody called and checked on me. God had revealed so much stuff to me within these last 4 years, showing me what I've been battling. And when I was battling it to clear out the bloodline was still trying to dirty it up. So people will be called home in this season. Because God is trying to clear up these bloodlines like he's trying to clear up overseas. They said to hold over whatever that place is, where God took me to in the Bible. Y'all, I'll get to it in a minute because I'm going to find it because I don't like to not have the information. Where these battles and stuff is going on at. And they said that all these different governments will come in and try to stop these battles. And ain't nobody going to be able to stop it. And it's happening. Because it's biblical. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Somebody know what I'm talking about. I landed right there on that. And it lined up with the numbers God was showing me. I was sick. I could not. Y'all, I was crying like a child who just got a whooping. And you know how you be sitting there and your nose be snotting in you. Y'all, because the sorrow that I felt. The grieving. Right? I wouldn't even. It's like, I said, God, why can't I stop crying? I couldn't, y'all. I woke up the next day, somebody looked at me in my face and said, why are your eyes swollen shut? Was you crying? I just looked at him and said no. Because now I got to explain to you why I'm crying. And I just don't really want to do it. And I knew I shouldn't have lied. Lord, forgive me. But some things ain't for everybody. But that's something I got to work on as well. You know what I'm saying? Because a lie is still a lie. I should just say yes, but I'd rather not explain it. But see, another thing, and I'm not making excuses. This person don't know when to let Leah live. Why? Why won't you tell me? Why would you tell me? Why? They don't know if boundaries don't know how to respect the boundaries of a person. No means no. If somebody don't want to explain themselves, stop trying to get people to force to explain themselves. I don't know who that's to. Somebody out here right now is trying to force somebody. Is that a cat on my porch? Y'all, it's 2 different cats on my porch staring up in my face. Night walkers, in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. Get thee behind me, Satan. You got to understand that these people send out monitoring spirits. Y'all, this stuff is real. 2 cats in the shadow sitting on my porch. I can't even because it's so dark up there that y'all won't even be able to see them. I seen one of them. I seen one black one in the back of the pole. And then when I seen that black one, it made me look. And I keep looking in the shadows. And I see another one sitting right in my mouth looking dead at me, facing my car, chilling. And it is not my cat. Let me roll these windows up. Because Satan will send his legions to monitor and try to stop your word from getting out. And so, where was I at, guys? I'll get to her in a minute. Hold on, y'all. Whew. Y'all been going. I was talking about the holding on to our kids. I had to let go. And when I let go, I didn't just let go. I let go and I gave my child to God. She was already God's. But I wanted God to know that I let go. God, I let go. That is your property. That is yours. You do what you will. God, I ask you to cover her in the name of Jesus. That's all I can do. Just cover her. Cover my grandson. But God, I release them unto you. Guys, I'm about to get off of here in a minute. I got another story I got to put together. I'm going to the house here in a minute. I want my phone to die. So this is going to be, these cats are roaming around my house like, oh my God. But I got to go in the house in a little bit. I'm going to do me a straighten up and stuff. And let my phone charge up. And I'm going to get on here and show y'all a dream. Share with y'all a dream that God gave me. I already had a video recorded here, but for some reason it would not upload. Right? This is something serious. But God must have wanted me to learn something else in between before I share that. Right? Or get somewhere else. Because we growing every day. But I was saying that I had to give my child over to God. And when my son came here, he taught me a whole bunch, like what love was. You know, a lot of us say we love ourselves, right? Because we go put some clothes on, you know. Yes, God is confirming. Y'all see the lights. We go get our nails and our hair done. We have a spa day. We have a day for ourselves, and we're screaming we love ourselves. See, when my son came here, because I was saying that too, because I had a spa day, I took myself out to eat, and, you know, I took care of myself, and, you know, I had my struggles and stuff, you know, with a chicken wing, you know, chicken wing won't hurt. And God gave me a message about the swine, about pigs. How, when in that story of Legions, right, something that came to me about the pigs, that they're unclean. They're unclean over in y'all, I got to go break it down before I get off into it, right, so I can give it clear. I'm going to get the message clear, so I got to remind myself about the pigs and the way that I got the story, right? And my perception and what I got out of it. Look at this cat. This cat is on my fence. Y'all, look at that cat drinking that milk. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. Ain't that what Kevin Hart said? Look at that cat drinking that milk. Y'all, but mine is something different. They say that cats catches unclean spirits. Filter right on through. I don't know how true that is. But something cat come, and it's not just about the cats, right? I want to say this as well. I just thought about it when I was reading this thing, and it was talking about how cats are pure, right? Anything could be used as a monitoring spirit. But see, sometimes when you got a monitoring spirit roaming, the cat can come through and help to filter it through there, right? Animals are very, very, very precious. Very precious. They help us emotionally, spiritually. But it's animals help us with a lot of things, right? Help us to release as well. God give us, oh, that's crazy. God give us tools to help us to release things, right? God is showing me forgiveness. A lot of us stating that we forgive, but we don't forgive. Because soon as that person do something, you're ready to bop them dead in the face, right? You're ready to punch them out. When you truly forgive, just like God forgive us, the slate is wiped clean. And so no matter what that person did, y'all, I heard something about forgiveness one day. And I was a person that always said that I forgive that person. I forgive that person, right? I was truly, genuinely saying that out of my mouth. And I really, truly, genuinely felt like I was forgiving that person. And then one day, God let me hear the words about forgiving. And I freaked out. But it was in the way that the person had delivered the message. They said, you know, even if your family try to kill you and y'all... Even if your family did try to steal your inheritance and kill you and all this stuff, you know, just forgive them. I'm like, what? I mean, you know, I forgive them, but they ain't coming around me, right? But when you truly, genuinely forgive, the slate is wiped clean, right? And God's still working with me. He's still working with me. He working with me, y'all. Because I say I forgive him all the time. God, I forgive him. And I truly, genuinely want to forgive them. But did you really forgive him? God will let something come across your stuff and it will give you a different perception on that thing, and you will be like, oh my God, I haven't forgave him. I haven't. Even though I'm saying it, even though I truly, genuinely want to. But that is a thing that if people did all type of stuff to you and you have done nothing but show kindness and compassion, and these people try to tear you down, take your life, steal from you, playing with you in your face, using your kids to do these things to you as well, all for the greed and the love of money, jealousy and envy, because God chose you to have something, to have a gift. Because you always land on your feet, even though they tearing you down. And they gonna just go in the back. Y'all, and that song came in my head, smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place, them backstabbers. And I watched this person squirm down in the chair, and I was innocently singing this song, y'all. Y'all gotta pay attention. I done skipped, hold on, y'all. But y'all gotta really pay attention. Y'all got to pay attention. Y'all got to pay attention to the people around y'all, man. When you forgive one, right? Just like God, just like Jesus, the slate is wiped clean. Now, God ain't saying just let the people back around you. He's not saying that. He didn't train you. God did not put us up as well as train us, as well as do all this to get us to see the people around us, right? Because somewhere in there, we start off as innocent and loving and so overly caring, but a lot of times we're overactive in the area when you constantly giving, over giving, over loving, over sharing, right? It has to be a balance to that. And so God was showing me how I was overly doing things, right? Overly caring, overly giving, overly loving, overly. Why are you that way? And it was from trauma. It was trauma. And so once he began to show me people, one thing I refused to do was become bitter. Even after he started, God, I don't want to become bitter. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be bitter, right? I watch people that's bitter. I remember, I'll never forget, a guy told me, one of my elders told me, when I was a kid, whatever you do, don't never become bitter. When I was real young, right? And after this person said that to me, it opened something up in me to where I began to pay attention. And I began to pay attention to all these people around me, family, friends, relatives, right? Even when I was younger, really wasn't friends like that because I was still too young to have friends to know that part of the bitterness. But around family and friends, family, basically, really. Family, friends, right? Like my family member and they friends, because I was still too young to experience some of the things that God was showing me. And when I remember after this person said this to me, and I started to grow up, and I would start looking out, everybody was sleeping with everybody man, everybody was sleeping with everybody woman, everybody was sleeping with everybody husband, everybody was sleeping with everybody wife. And it was like, she did it to me, I'm gonna do it back to her. And I'm like, ooh. And it was just a big old conglomerate of this, right? That I got to see as a little girl. Everybody sleeping with everybody. Everybody got that get back in them. Everybody got to have that last leg. Everybody got to have that last word. And I said, God, I don't want to be like that. When I was younger, I said, God, I don't want to be like that. And you get older and you start getting your friends. And I remember I had a particular girl around me and she tried to sleep with everybody that I came in contact with. And I had a few real homeboys around me. And they would say, man, I seen your friend. And, man, she was trying to talk to me, right? Man, I had to tell her, like, man, what's up, right? What's going on with you? You all right? You know, where your people at? Where my homegirl at, right? It was only a few that actually had that OG in them, that had that realness in them. And I said, how many people did she lay with? Right? I wasn't laying with everybody. I wasn't sleeping with everybody I met. But I had my friends. My guy friends. But my true actual guy friends came and told on this person. And I said, dang, even in the talking stage, even in the me just being friends with people, this person was running behind every single person, behind me with every single person sleeping with them. He didn't even know these people was my friends. Like, I don't sleep with that person. You could have just said, girl, what's up with him? Shoot, I'm trying to, right? But it wasn't about that. This is a cycle that we keep going through, right? That you're not breaking it off, right? And I just kept forgiving her, and I kept forgiving her. And then she would look me dead in my face, know what she doing. I remember I said to her, I said, man, what was going on between you and such and such? I just seen him, and he said this, that, and the other. Oh, girl, we was talking about you, girl. We was talking about you. I said, no, he was talking about me. What's up with you, man? You all right? You supposed to be my friend. What's going on, man? Right? This person kept doing it, and kept doing it. I said, I'm going to get this mother lover back. I'm going to get her ass back. I said, you done did many. All I got to do is take you down with one. Right? I said to myself, and so, hope you guys can hear me. This person ran behind every single person. If it could have been my daddy and my brother, she was doing it, but she had a Jezebel spirit, concubine, succubine entity on her. And so, hold on, guys. I've had these earbuds on so long. These ear things on my ear. My earlobe is itching, y'all. And so, my ear. Lord. Let me put these back on. Hopefully they working still. And so, let me check and see. And so, I said, you know what? I'm going to get this heifer back. But I said and I thought to myself, it took me back years prior to what I seen. And everybody around me. And I said, if you do that, then you will be just like every single person that you said you ain't want to be like. You will be a bitter Betsy, and you will find yourself in that same cycle as everybody else that God allowed you to experience and see young. And you don't have an excuse. So you need to back up and rethink your actions, right? And I did. But my thing is, Even after, years later, this person continues to do this thing. And a lot of times you think that sometimes people just think, oh, that person just got an entity on them, right? That's just something they struggle with. It's not just something that people struggle with. This is a decision that these people made to be. They chose to be hurtful. They chose to be envious. They chose to be jealous. They chose to be destructive, right? And a lot of times it's because of jealous and envy of you, right? It's a lot of times they can't stand something about you. They would sit in your face, they would smile, they would grin, but it's not about none of that. Some of these people ain't got no problem, ain't got no sucky. Some of these people got a spirit of I don't like you. I'm jealous of you. I'm envious of you. I can't stand you, even though I'm smiling and grinning in your face and I don't want to get out your face. When it's just as simple as going on about your way, going on about your business. No, they want to keep being in your life so they can continue to lie and make up stories. And this was the same person that I found out was switching our life stories around. Destiny swappers, right? This is my first experience with a destiny swiper. Of course, I had them way before them because they was in my family. But God truly showed me what a destiny swiper was. And I'll never forget, this person was talking, didn't know that she was talking to somebody who actually knew me. She ran across somebody and her and the girl started to kick it. And somehow my name began to flow out of her mouth. Not knowing that the girl that she was talking to me about knew who I was. And the girl didn't say anything. She just listened at first. And she said, the girl came to me and she said, Moo. My nickname is Moo Moo. She said, Moo. She said, do you know such and such? And I said, yeah, that's my girl. She said, tuh. She said, girl. She said, do you know I was around her for some time? And she said she always kept talking about somebody, but I didn't know who she was talking about. She was like, I'm, just some girl, right? I'm thinking she's talking about some, I don't know who the girl is she's talking about. She said, oh, she kept your name in her mouth. 24/7. She said, but I didn't know who she was talking about because I know you by Moo Moo. She said, girl, every single day. She said she ran her mouth about you so much. She said to the point where I finally said, who is you talking about, right? She said every time I came around her, she was running her mouth. She said she's so jealous and envious of you, right? And I'm like, nah, you talking about the person I know? My people? She like, yes, right? And I said, nah, maybe you talking about another one. Because her nickname is a very popular nickname that multiple people have this nickname. So I said, maybe she's talking about the wrong person. And she said, no, I'm going to pull up a picture, right? She pulls up a picture and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, that's her. She like, yes, I know. She said, girl, now you know I was raised around you, right? She said so much stuff, Moo. She said, I can't remember all of it. She said, but what made me pay attention and made me end up saying something to her. She said one day she went to go on about you and how she was raised and how you was raised. And she started talking about you this and you that. She said, but what threw me was when she said that how she was raised in church and all this stuff and how you was raised. And she said, what are you talking about? She said, Moo wasn't raised like that. Moo was the one raised in church. Moo was like this. Moo was like that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's not her life. Where's you getting this from? Right? She didn't know that this girl knew me. And she finally got tired of her running her mouth and to the point where she ended up checking her. And she said, at first, Moo, I didn't check her because I didn't know what she was talking about. She said, but when she went to, she switched y'all life stories around, right? She tried to that this girl knew what she was doing. She tried to, but I didn't know about destiny swipers and all that stuff yet. Even when she was telling me, I still didn't know anything about destiny swapping and all this stuff, right? Energy thieves and vampires and all this stuff and witches and warlocks and all these things. And so she said, I'm thinking to myself, what made her try to switch y'all stories around, right? And I'm like, girl, I don't know, but I left it alone because I didn't know about the swiping yet. Swiper, no swiping. And so I want you young girls to be very careful in who and you allow to come around you. While they sitting up there smiling in y'all face with y'all little boyfriends and sitting up there calling your boyfriend bro. My brother, or acting like she just don't like him at all. But she's sitting in the background getting smashed by your people. And come to smile up in your face. A lot of that is just not a Jezebel spirit or an entity. A lot of that is the enviness of them being that jealous of you. You'll watch some people start to walk like you, talk like you, do your hairs like theirs, have certain quirks as you. And even if they was more up to speed, like when it comes to hair and clothes and eyelashes and makeup, right? Superficial things. Even if they was more up to speed in that time, you were still you and you still had the touch of God on your life. You still had the calling of God on you. And so when you have that anointing, even before you have it, even before you know you got it, a lot of times, especially if you come running into somebody who's older than you, and even if they're not older than you, their environment and their circumstances, they're way fast. What they say, you're fast. My grandma used to say, you're fast tail. They're fast, right? And so you got some people who might even be younger than you, but they're faster than you because their environment that they was raised in, right? But for the ones that are older than you, you really got to watch them, right? They're really snakes. And a lot of these people might not even have the spirit on them yet. They got things about themselves that's nasty that can be worked out. But what happens is, once they come around you, they become jealous and envious, and then the Jezebel spirit and the succubine spirit begins to manifest. You understand? And so that's when the weirdness starts coming out. And all of a sudden, they're not calling you for money. And they calling you, oh, girl, what you doing? Because they still keep trying to figure out your quirks and the way you work and the way you blink your eye 3 times. They still trying to put it together so they can siphon it. Y'all know how many destiny swiping, trifling tail women that I done ran across before I even knew what it was. I have ran across many. And a lot of these people will come and act like they just running into you at the coffee shop and y'all just becoming cool. No, a lot of these destiny swipers, obsessed sickos, have been watching you for 10 years, right? Sleeping with, found out about you because of a man that you was dealing with or a woman you was dealing with. And it be the person you sleeping with, ex-spouse, best friend, that's become obsessed with you because she's sleeping with her man. That is now your man. Somebody make this make sense to me. I said that your new man was connected with got an ex, right? Your new man got an ex. And the ex-best friend was sleeping with her man. And now this ex-best friend is following and gawking you and been watching you for 10 years. Studying where you like to go, where you go down. Or you go to the coffee shop. Then you go into the coffee shop normal, right? And you ain't thinking nothing. And a woman walk up and she know everything about you. And so she say something about the gospel of Israel. She say something about, or he say something about them Lakers and them Steelers, right? And the Cowboys and the, whatever it is that you like. They say it to spark conversation. And then you like, oh, bro, we can go down to the pub. We can go down to the, I'm going to the explosion for the church next week. You want to go? Yeah, man, my people, we already got the tickets. See? They hacked into. Some of these people are so crazy and obsessed and stalkerish and weird sickos that they have been watching you so much. These people they're such demonically possessed that they done became hackers, they done became stalkers, they done became the watchers, they done became all these different things that they didn't even know that they can become, right? That start getting off into stuff. Some of these people are so crazy that they didn't even went to school to learn how to become a certain thing to get up into your life. Y'all have to be more careful. Y'all work with me here because I'm carrying my cups of coffee. And me and my dog going in the house. But some of these people have become so obsessed with you in your life. And then they study you for 10 years. This is how crazy these people is. That it don't even have nothing to do with the man and or woman anymore. It got something to do that now they done manifested an entity. Right? They done manifested this entity onto them, and now the entity is driving them and putting a battery in their back to now do these things. Come on. And they never gonna receive deliverance from it or nothing. They just keep on going. And they think that it's their obsession for you. They not knowing that they done manifested an entity, and now this entity is putting a battery in their back because of the sin that they were sitting in. The type of sin that they were sitting in. Then they finally say, today is the day I get to go meet her. I get to go meet him. It went from a normalcy to outright deranged, crazy, and need deliverance. Need to be in a insane asylum. They go out to the pub watching, but what's even crazier is that it's always somebody sitting next to them rooting these type of people on. Understand that, right? Legions, for they are many. And so, especially when you got a calling of God on you, they are coming. And so they came up with a grand scheme of the day of October 2005. We're going to go out there and it's ball game. It's time for deliverance. And you go down to the coffee shop that they've been stalking you at every single day and hacking into your phone, watching you get your coupon out of there, and they go in there, pull up the same coupon, and start talking to you. You start talking about the expo, and they done hacked into your phone. You don't even know. And they talk about, oh my God, right? They got everything in common with you. It was a divine alignment. They got everything, and you start, they got an expo next week for the Lord. And I'm gonna go to that. Oh, that's so crazy. Me and my friend, we were just talking about that, and we just ordered tickets. Look at my tickets. You can go with us, or we can go with you. And you like, oh, okay, come on. Anything, we can, it's innocent because we're going for the Lord. You not knowing that this person then plotting and planning this stuff, watching you for 10 years. And you got an enemy in your camp, a destiny swiper, and then next thing you know, you'd have been around this person for 2 years, and this person start disappearing. You ain't thinking nothing of it, because as time go on, you thinking to yourself, oh, this is normal, right? People come and go and all this stuff. Let me tell y'all something. You don't be around nobody as an adult for 2 years straight and a person just disappear and never did that before. These type of people is collecting data, information, and taking it back to the occult, to their little group. Taking pictures of your house, and then it really pisses them off when they come around you and you actually live the way you present yourself to be. Oh, it really drives them up the wall. And so they'll become upset. They start acting like you. They out there getting on these social medias, presenting your message, presenting your story, presenting your son's death like it happened to them. These are destiny swipers. But I need y'all to hear me. If God let it in the back door, it was supposed to be there. Right? Even when these people think that they're being slick and they think that they can outwit God, especially when you got something to do. These people are going on platforms, got legions following you because they just stole your life story, stole your quirks. But somewhere in there, it was something about you, right? Because you got to understand that sickos like this, it didn't just start with you. A lot of these people never knew their identity. Like my granddad always said, you done swapped your identity about 6-7 times. You don't know yourself. You done changed your wig 8 different times. I said, Granddad, leave me alone. You better find an identity and stick with it. He used to pick with all of us about our hair and nails and all this stuff. Find an identity and stick with it. That's what these people have never done. They've never found who they were. And so therefore they can never receive the blessings that God got for them. And they're not going to receive them because they're too busy trying to jump on your choo-choo train and steal what God got for you. Meanwhile, their blessings have left. God is so patient and awesome that he waited for these people for years to get on their bandwagon. And if they supposed to came in there, they were supposed to come in there and learn something and change their ways around. You were supposed to be the triggering point. A lot of us, people are running into us, and some of y'all are meeting such high-ranked demons because they are on the last leg before our train take off. And they can no longer get on there. So you will see an uptake in that demonic activity. You will see an uptake of your spouse acting weird. Your spouse is acting weird. You will see an uptake because God is taking us to the promised land. And these people that they fought so hard to keep you from having, they cannot come and you're still getting what it is that God said that you were going to get. And so you're going to see a lot of the snarling. You're going to see a lot of that snarling happening. Even what's that? Person walk past you, you a hoe, you a B, hoe, whore. You like, what? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Wanting you to show out. And then let me go back here for a second. You got to understand too, when it comes to what God is doing for some of us, a lot of us have got things stolen from us that God is getting ready to bless us back with, right? I keep telling y'all people that there's not a reason why God is, let me go back. God is an all-knowing God. God can see things before we see things. And a lot of times God went on here and let your family steal your inheritance. Because let's go back to the fact I said a lot of us had traumas in us which forced us to be overgiving, oversharing, overcaring, right? God didn't want these people having that. Or look, he did want them having it at a point, right? Because somewhere in there they're supposed to change around. But when they made the decision to keep going and not changing around, and God gave them enough time to figure that thing out, whether you're going to go left or right, not straddle the fence, or you're going to do right by this person and by yourself even, right? Because it's not always about us. It's something within God. We're nothing but tools for God. We're nothing but mirrors for God, right? So even with you being over compassionate, over caring, over loving, overstimulated in that area, and these people will sit back laughing at you for your compassion, sit back laughing at you for your sympathy, sit back laughing at you for having a heart, right? A teeny, sit back laughing at you for being like this, while taking advantage of it. Let me tell you this, a lot of them are about to be on their hands and knees crying, begging that they had you sitting there with them to get them through what it is that they're going through, about to go through and going through. You understand me? The same people that was laughing about your son dying, your kids dying, you're losing your house, you're losing your car. You're watching your spouse cheat all on you while laughing at you when you did nothing but be friends to these people. And they joined in with it. This is not an aha. This is not what they get. We are healed and evolved from that, right? But God, I'm going to say this again, is a patient and awesome God. And he had gave them, just like he gave you, he had gave them more than enough time to heal what it was that was in them that was causing them to be that way. So God wanted you to get something out of that. God wanted them to get something out of that. And you got your lesson and what it is that you need to get. And God is calling us back with our loving selves while we done balanced it all out and everything. And these people are still who they are. They did not change. And so they will remain in chains. While God is taking the shackles off your feet so you can dance. I just want to praise him. I just want to praise him. Hey, take in the corners of my mind, I just can't seem to find the reason to believe that I can break free. What? God is out here de-chaining you, chaining them. Oh my God. And see, we are in a season where we are at the end. I know we've been hearing that forever. We, my friend, is at the end. There is about to be a great change that's about to take place. It's already taking place. And so A lot of these people had more than enough time to ease on down the road, right? They had more than enough time to get themselves together. They had more than enough time to stop coming for you. They had more than enough time to stop taking the money from your family to hurt and harm you. They had more than enough time to stop betraying you and others, right? It's not just us. These people have been problems for everybody. They have been bringing everybody into their evil plans and schemes, right? And even with a lot of the people who was in the plan and scheme when it started off, then walked away, these people are trying to, instead of them saying, dang, God has dismantled, y'all, hold on. God has dismantled the field. God has dismantled it all. And instead of these people sitting back and saying, dang, everybody walked away. God, what is it that you're trying to show me? No, they ain't doing that. These people are trying to go up into new groups and sit up in the new groups playing innocent while whispering little white lies to turn people's perception around about you so these people can start going up against you, hopping fences, climbing gates, standing behind poles at 400 pounds behind a 2-inch pole, looking over at you, snarling and growling. Summoning your partner to get in on this thing, lying about you and your character so they can steal and have, to keep going on with these plans for money and a dislike of you and who you is and who you ain't, what they say. She ain't connected to God, he ain't connected to God. They ain't who God said they was. God ain't put them up for nothing. They hoes. They this. Never seen you go out there and do nothing like that. Even after they sent multiple people across you to cause you to fail these tests. And still you passed them without even knowing. They still are saying you're not who God called you to be. And let me tell you something. A person don't need your help to fail. If a person is ain't nothing, ain't about nothing, ain't gonna be nothing, why are you going behind the scene reporting their pages and trying to stop their posts and stop their word from getting out to the algorithm? If a person ain't nothing to nobody, they don't need your help being nothing to nobody, right? If they ain't about nothing and nobody, nothing and nothing to nobody, they ain't nobody. They ain't connected to God. They're a demon. They a demon. They serve the devil. They in the backyard, been in the background playing the hoodoo, voodoo, and who knew. They doing all this. If that person was all that, let God handle that person to be all that. Why you speaking on that person in the first place, but you connected to God. But you of God though, right? These people who are doing this, right? They're speaking on a lot of people illly, trying to cause you to fail. Lying on your name, going in the background, and they're the ones who's paying in the hoodoo, voodoo, and who knew. And so a lot of these people have done so much that God has blocked them off from their intuition. They are blocked off in the heart. They are blocked off everywhere. And so instead of them stopping again and saying, God, what's going on here? Maybe that person really is connected to God. No, I'm going to go out there since I'm blocked off. I'm going to go pay a witch doctor to come after this person. I'm going to go pay somebody I'm going to stop and see what's going on. Why am I blocked from all my gifts? Why am I losing my natural mind? Why am I falling ill? No, don't ask yourself that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to bring in more people to keep going. God say enough is enough. God said stop. I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to the front door. This person is who I said they was. And I have showed you time and time again why you have done shut up spells, heart attack spells, stroke spells, all up on this person. Don't wake up a spell. Put them in the ground spell. And that did work. So you done pay somebody to come after them to take their life. And they still here. And you still ain't getting the picture. You done even went and paid their spouse to get in on it. And they're still here. Because I said so. Because I am God. God said I am God. Ain't nothing getting past God. It's about what God wants. What God said. And everybody trying to discredit you. Coming calling you hoe. Want you to get up and flip out on them so they can pull out a phone and record you. Look, she ain't connected to God. I ain't say, I said, I'm human. If you press the right button, I might bust you over the head with a stick. That's all I'm saying. Want you to be like that. Not gonna say what they did to you, how they did it to you. How they just sit up in your face and disrespect you in every way that they could for no reason. Because they took finances behind your back. They took money all behind your back to help you to fail so you can't receive what God said that it is for you to receive. And you think that God is not coming. I'm going to see if you're more powerful than God. If a person ain't going to be nothing, karma don't need your help. I'm going to go, these people are in the back lighting candles on you talking about, oh, well, I'm going to help karma out. Karma don't need no help. God don't need no help. The angels and the ancestors, they do not need any help. They got this. Talking about you ain't nothing but doing death spells on you and your kids. Yeah, okay. Well, you guys, I can say so much more. But y'all, I have gave y'all some time here. And I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Yesterday, I cleaned up my room, the kitchen, and put some projects together. And I got to do a few more things. And I'm going to pamper myself and talk to God for a little bit. But I'm going to say that I couldn't go to sleep, right? I'm going to end off with this. I have so much more to say, God. I have so much more to say. I got some dreams to share with you guys, some events, mistakes, all of it, right? There's nothing. My grandmother always told me, if you're going to do something and you're going to be ashamed of it, don't do it. If you don't want nobody find out about something down the line, or somebody being able to throw something in your face, don't do it, right? And so with that being said is this. Ain't nobody got to go in the background when it comes to me. Come to me and I answer you. Come to me and can't nobody tell you. You know what's so crazy? I remember I had a couple homegirls I used to be around. Even guys too, and I would tell them about me. I'm an open book. There's nothing hidden about me. I don't got no hidden treasures, right? Y'all probably know about my hidden treasure, because how many people don't want to stalk me and stop me from getting out in the algorithm. Let's go see what she about. She ain't about God. She ain't about God. She ain't about God. God. She talking about God. She ain't about God. God don't know her. God. God don't know her. Because I'm the one connected to God. God know me by name. He know me by age, gender. God know my flaws. God know how many hairs I got on my head. Ain't many, because my edges is gone, y'all. They gone, okay? And God know everything about us, y'all. He know everything about me. And I am not shameful in anything. 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 You understand me? Anything. There's some people out there, family and all, that's so mad that you're standing up for yourself and that you are able to stand up and tell your testimony and your story. That they will go in the background and lie. She did this to me. He did that to me. They will make up stories. They will lie because you choosing to get up. And they sitting there withering away and melting in their sorrows instead of getting up and doing something about it. Instead of saying, how did you do that? Instead of saying, could you help me? Could you help me? How did you do that? How did you get past that? A lot of these people, they don't want. They just pour on me, pour on me, pour on me, pour on me, pour on me. Look at me. Just pour on me, pour on me, pour on me, pour on me. I remember I was on the phone with somebody and I said, you know what I started noticing? A lot of people are addicted to the poor old me. They like to sit in that energy. It's something they are consumed and they like to be consumed in that. This is what I've been figuring out over the last 4 years after my son passing. My son showed me so much stuff. He opened me up. And he was silent. Never got to say, Mama. Never once said, Mama, I love you. But I knew that he loved me. He showed me what pure, true, genuine what love is. Love is no words at all. Y'all, love is so grand that it's unexpressible. I can't express it. And so he came here for a little while to show me something. He had to implant a seed. He only here for a little while, and that was it. That's all he was supposed to be here for, right? He came here innocent and cleared karmic debt of family, of bloodline. Innocent. Innocently came here and cleared out so much karmic debt. And these people, family, and all this stuff, blood, is trailing behind you, dirtying the bloodline back up. After God chose you to clear this thing up and chose you, your son, to be a sacrifice, and they're dirt, and you think that they're going to stand before you? You think that they're going to stand and still be here over you? And they doing heart attack, shut up spells to kill you spell? Okay. All right. That's all I'm going to say. God using you to clear out some things. And these people are walking around like that dude off the Charlie Brown. That little boy off Charlie Brown with them flies and mosquitoes and stuff all around him. The funky dust. Dirtying the bloodline back up. And okay. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't the judge. I'm not going to talk about consequences. I'm just saying, okay. All right. You got it. You got it. You got it, cuz. You got it, cuz. You got it, bruh. You got it. You got it. Like I was saying, though. These people around you know that a lot of us are open books. We don't hide nothing. You would tell them something about you. Girl, I did that. I went something such. Or I was dealing with homeboy. And girl, he done did this. Girl, my man done did this and that. Open book. And it would go and sit down next to somebody else. Like they done hired something and found something out about you. But you the one who told them. Somebody make that make sense. It was a person that was around me that did that a lot. Didn't know that I know that they was running their mouth. Running their mouth. And I'm like, how did they present that like they found that out when I'm the one told them? Somebody make it make sense. Y'all stop playing with me. Anywho's, y'all, I don't want to leave, baby, but I gotta go right now. And I'll be back before you know it. I was saying, too, before I get off here, my son showed me what true, genuine love was. He came here and he planted a seed. And he showed me that I wasn't loving myself. I want to go get my nails did, my feet did, my hair done, have me a spa day. I wasn't loving myself. And boy, oh boy, he couldn't say, Mama, I loved you back. God let an innocent soul come here and said nothing at all, and I knew what it was all for. Because it was a lesson before he even got here, and I knew he was on the way, but I didn't know he wasn't going to stay. And some things God are not going to allow to stick to you neither. It's not about the baby. Sometimes it's about the bloodlines. It will, sometimes, that's why they say you got to be Careful who you linking up with, because you don't know that person's lineage, y'all. I remember they said back in the days that they used to test people DNA, blood, and stuff like that to see if they was compatible with each other, so to make sure the baby was going to be okay. And they should still be doing that to this day. You're not going to carry a debt that is not yours to carry, especially when God got a plan for you. God is not going to, I'm going to say this, right? And I'm not saying this to offend anyone. If you got something to do, right, and you go and connect to somebody, and that person has mental illness in their family, and it really generational curse, right? Because everything is not mental illness. Some things are genetically done, and some things is spiritual. And you know when something is spiritual. And you going to have a baby by somebody not knowing how serious this thing is in their bloodline for something they great granddaddy did. But all the women are fine, but something about the men in that family. And then you turn around and have a boy by this bloodline, right? See, the way my blood is set up, I'm really not supposed to be having babies by anything except for my own kind. Really, y'all. I'm RH negative. And so, that was not going to stand, right? God was like, what? I'm going to send him there for this. You got people, y'all, that's so messed up that they are conjuring babies to import them into you. The men are doing it too, women. We already know the women doing stuff. But the men are doing it too. Oh, yes, they are. Dropping stuff in your drinks. God has showed me a lot within his 4 years. Conjuring babies from the pits of hell. And people say, babies don't. If somebody doing something, and that you are carrying an entity, ma'am. And so, I'm not saying that's just what happened to me, right? This is what I'm explaining. But what I'm saying is, I know something wasn't right. I do know that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I do know that this person was purposely trying to connect themselves to me and didn't want to let go. I do know that when I was around this person that I was physically and spiritually drained. I do know that this person had, when I cut my hair off one day after I got pregnant, my son, this person stole my, I know that this person stole my hair, right? Once I found out I was pregnant, I had cut my hair off and I took it and wrapped it in a napkin. And so I was like, I'm gonna figure out what I want to do with it. But I remember sitting on the couch and I remember going to sleep on the couch and I had it barred up inside of a napkin, and the napkin was missing the next day. I do know that, and I called and asked this person about it, and they lied in my face. Yes, and so this was a man doing this, high-ranking warlock, high-ranking demon. God showed me so much stuff, so many lies was told. This person got sent towards me. Y'all. These people have been playing in my life like they can do what like they're God. These people around me, family, friends, ex-friends, ex-love, playing God in my life like they're the most high God. And you think that these people are not. See, a lot of these people was betting on the fact that you would never get to know God. Was betting on the fact they thought you was weak. They was laughing in your face, laughing behind your back. Smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place, them backstab. But they didn't know that you kept that relationship with God no matter what. No matter if you went over there, no matter if you did this, no matter, you kept that relationship with God. And these people regret. They didn't know they was going to regret the day of today. They didn't know that today would come. They didn't know that today you would know God. They didn't know today. They didn't know that the whole time everybody was out kicking it, partying after my son passed away. They was going on trips and cruises. My son was the ultimate sacrifice to these people. Oh, yeah. Y'all don't want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Everybody was partying, cruising, at my son's repast. Nobody posing no nobody, but yet everybody knew everybody. God had set me in silence. I could not mourn. God did not let me mourn. I mourned for the first half, but once it got to my son's funeral, I did not shed a tear. God had me cleaned out. I remember sitting in the backyard of my grandfather's backyard, and I was in so much sorrow and mourning that I had called out to God and asked him for peace. I said, God, please give me peace. My back was tight, my chest was tight, my neck was tight, my eyes were swollen shut from crying so much. My face was raw, my lips was raw, everything was raw, y'all, from crying so much. I had cried so much that I was crying and tears wasn't even coming out. I was dehydrated from crying. And I remember I was in the backyard and I said, God, please give me peace. Just give me a little bit of peace. The peace that you have, when you have to deal with us every single day, God, I just need a little bit. And I'll never forget that in a split second, everything in my body had released and went back normal. The tightness in my back that I was carrying, the heavy load, everything, I could feel it release. Everything was releasing. My eyes was going down right before my face. As soon as I opened my mouth up and spoke to God, he had took the mourning out of me. He lifted it, and I was okay. And I never forget, right when I asked God for that and the release was taking place, a particular family member of mine was walking through the house and I hear him say, where Moo at? And I hear my granddad say, she in the backyard. And he went to walk through their house because I could see him, right? Their house was, they got 3 floors, but the one floor is the attic. Then they got the main floor was like where the kitchen was, the 2 bedrooms, and all that stuff. Then they had the basement, right? So it kind of was like more like everything. The main floor was the regular floor or whatever, right? The bathroom, the 2 bedrooms, the front room, the kitchen, the dining room, that was the main floor. But this, I could look straight through the house and see this person coming from the front door and walking through the house. And as this person was walking through the house, they can see me, see them coming. And this person had got halfway and hit right in the front of the kitchen, right? And this person looked up and looked over out at me. And he said, oh, she got it. Oh, she got it. It ain't no point in me being here. She got it, she got it, she got it, right? This is what I heard this person say. She got it. Oh, she got it, right? And I just looked up. The person hit a U-turn and went right back out the house and pulled off. And was bumping their music. Going down the street, doing their thing. And later on, I talked to this person. I said, what did you see? What did you talking about? I got it. He said, the peace of God. God granted you peace. This person is gifted as well. And so I said, yeah, I asked for peace. He said, I already know. I was coming in here to say that to you. And he said, and it was over with by the time I hit the door, right? So I just turned around and walked on out, right? And so I said, oh, okay. I said, that's crazy, right? And do you know, I had 2 days later, it was my son's funeral. Y'all, I can tell y'all the story about the funeral. It was so much ill, nasty stuff going on. So many people involved. While all making cruises, they was going on cruises. The daddy was on the trip before the son's funeral, out partying and kicking it. Before my son's funeral, over somewhere on some island, kicking it, partying. Everybody was partying. God was showing me something, but in that split second when I asked God for peace, he took me out of mourning. I did not mourn anymore. Every now and again I would have my cry, but it wasn't necessarily a mourning cry. I couldn't mourn him. I could not mourn my God, did not let me mourn my son no more. It was over. Even when I wanted to be sad, I could not be sad anymore. God wanted me to pay attention to what's around me. Because if I did not, my life was at stake. Oh, yeah, my life was at stake. Yeah. People was poisoning my waters. Y'all, I got a story for y'all. Oh, don't I have a story for you guys? And God took me out of mourning. It is 11:11 on this clock while I'm talking to y'all. I just looked up and went to hit my record again, and it's 11:11. And so 1112 now. And so God is awesome, y'all. But God has been telling me to talk for a while now, but y'all didn't know how to put it together. I don't know where to start. I have so many videos in my phone. I just couldn't deliver it. And I think it's a sense of denial. Even after all God showed me, it's still like a sense of denial there that what these people was doing to me. And so these people did not offer me a burger, $1, or anything. I remember not too long, coming into that next year, I claimed my taxes. People was coming to my house stealing from me. All while after losing my son, they still plotting and plotting, stealing from me, calling CSB so they can come take my daughter and my grandson. Y'all, I was minding my business. Y'all had went on ahead and went back to work. Mind my business. I wasn't doing nothing. Minding my business. Start seeing different people swarming and following my house. Start seeing all kind of stuff, y'all. God would not let me mourn. He said, baby, you are in danger. The landlord was in it. She ended up getting called home. This is not an aha, y'all. This is not an aha. This is what y'all get. This is the God. No, I need y'all to understand something. I need y'all to understand something, right? It's so much, y'all, that I just got to tell it piece by piece. It's like I'm going to have to add a story within a story. When God give me something and it come up, I'll just say it, right? I'll just talk about it. And so just forgive me a little bit if my stuff be maybe all over the place. Work with me, y'all. If I might have the dates mixed up because so much went on. After my son passed, my uncle had lived with me for 2.5 years. Before I got pregnant with my son while my uncle was staying with me. And my uncle lived with me that whole time. And I want to say about a month and a half to 2 months before I had my son, my uncle ended up moving out and he moved 2 hours away. Then I ended up having my son. He passed away a month and a half after having him. And y'all, the crazy thing is my first set of angel numbers was 444. And I didn't even know, right? It took me almost a year later to figure out what that stuff was. Somebody, granddad came to me and said something to me. And he said, when is your birthday? I said, October 4th. He said, when is your son's birthday? I said, May 4th. He said, when is my grandson's birthday? I said, June 4th. He said, you still ain't figured it out. He said, I'm not allowed to tell you. And I said, no. He said, God got something for you to do. And he said, I can't intervene. Y'all's flies coming. Here we go again. But he said, God got something for you. God got something for you. You got something to do. You got something to do, ma'am. And I just looked at him. And I didn't feel anything, right? I just was looking around me. And I remember I had my homegirl around me before she ended up joining the gang against me. And I remember sitting there watching the people who didn't show up at the funeral, showing up at the repast, eating, coming in naked, no clothes on. I'm watching all this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on, right? God just had me sit there and he calmed me so much, that I couldn't even feel no way. God just took everything besides attention. Pay attention. That's it. He took the feelings away. I didn't have nothing. I just sit there and looked. And I watched everybody. Nobody, you at a funeral, you got this side, that side, these friends, them friends of that person. And now, but I'm looking at this. And I'm like, in my head, why do everybody like they know each other? Why do everybody, this is what, right? But what's crazy, because I'm like, this person doing this, and that person doing that, and that person doing that. And in that instant, God had brought everybody together and said, it's all of them. They're all together in this thing, right? But I just didn't know what yet. I did not know what yet. They've been playing God in my life since I have came out the womb, y'all. These people have been playing God in my life. Oh, yes. Trying to make me lose my house, my car, my kids. These people have been going above and beyond playing God in my life. And now that I want to talk about it, we're going to stop you. But we're going to see who's the force. We're going to see who God is. We're going to see if you can stop God. Not me. I ain't nothing. But I do belong to him. And see, I give it over to him. And I want to see if you can stop God. I want to see it. Going on these here YouTubes and these different things, hacking into my stuff, watching me on everything. I said, God, why is it my number's switching around right in my face? I'm looking at the analytics, I'm watching the glitching happen in my face on these when I'm trying to post this stuff. God said, just hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Just, you do what I tell you to do. Don't worry about that stuff. All right, God. Understood. Understood. It can become frustrating, but God, give it to God. When you see that people are doing these things to you, trying to stop you from telling your story, stop you, you know you got to be a bad mother. Shut your mouth. If you're watching people sitting back trying to stop somebody, tear them down, and go give pieces of that story to that person's story to other people so they can go disperse it out and tell this person's story. Like, but when these people that your family members pay, right? These people that your family members pay, these fake friends, to come around you to get pieces of your story, to go out there and throw it out there on the internet. So when you go to speak, you look like a joke. So it look like you taking somebody else's stuff. And then these people had called on legions to come watch, stalk, and gawk you. Did anybody take their time to say, why is this person got us watching this person? Why is this person? Because them people were stealing these people, not just me, stealing our stories before we can get them out there. I'm not the only one who went through stuff like this. Before you can go speak your story, it's all these different people speaking your story. All these old friends who disappeared that you was good to, they disappeared because they on these platforms. It was a platform that I got on. And I was on there wasn't even nothing. I'm on there doing something completely different. And I kept seeing this person's face pop up at the corner of this platform, but they didn't know that I knew how to work the platform because I kept playing. So I said, girl, how do you work this? I don't know how to work this. I don't know how to work this. But she didn't know that I seen her face, and somebody was sitting next to me. I said, I ended up turning it off for a minute. I said, watch how many times this person's face pop up on this thing. And eventually my stuff started getting reported because this person was so scared that eventually she was another person that was involved, extending parts of my story. She was a main person involved, a main character involved. One of the last friends I had around me. And stealing bits and pieces of my story. And I knew she was doing it because she was calling me, telling me my story, telling it to other people, other crackheads around. I remember when I told you this happened to me? I said, no, that did not. I said, but it did happen to me, though. These people are mentally ill. These are the people I'm talking about that God is calling them to stop stealing other people's personality. But see, a lot of these people been doing it their whole life, but it stopped when it came to you. And see, God let these people go so far up because the great fall is coming. He wants them to experience the luxury of stealing from somebody. He wanted them to experience the luxury of their lies. In their deceit, in their betrayal. He wants them to experience the luxury so he can drop them back down to this cold, cold world. And these people are about to be in a position to where they have no choice but to work on themselves. And you better hurry up because your train is ticking. It's up the road. You got a long way to run to get on your train because you was too busy trying to catch somebody else's train. The world is coming to a here close. Some things are changing around. And for the people in the back that's refusing to get the assignment, to get what it is that God wants you to get out of this here assignment, this whole world, whatever it is for you, time is running out. And some people have created so much damage, that even if they started correcting it now, a lot of the times, it's going to be hard for many lifetimes to come. They might not even, at this point, God is dragging the high-ranking demons in and just, the devil is dragging in. You are the person that's being set as the trap. The devil is just dragging the high-ranking demons in and just throwing them in and laying them at God's feet. How is it that you out here serving these entities and these deities and these all these different things? And at the end of the day, even they have to go sit and lay and bow their heads at the foot of God. Excuse me, y'all. I'm about to go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. These people have done a lot. Before the one girl got taken over, this one lady got taken over. She was in her late 50s, I mean. And she said to me, I was sitting next to her at the table at the repast, of my son's repast. And she said to me, something fishy in his mother. And I said, what you mean? She said, why do it look like? She said, ain't that your such and such side and such and such side? And ain't them your friends from over here and over there and all that? And I said, girl. She said, why everybody look like they know everybody? Why everybody look like they cool with everybody? Why everybody? She said, something fishy in this mother. I said, I don't know. I said, I see the same thing, girl. And what God began to unravel. Oh, the setup was on. These people thought that they was in the game for the winning, for the long haul, for the big stretch, for the big one. Oh, yes. Some of them in the back room fighting their own demons. A teeny. Some of them are going to be called home. Because the do-over must start now. The correction must start now. This is why we're seeing so many young people coming in and going right back out as well. Because they come in here on assignment and they're getting involved with different things and they're forgetting the assignment. They're straying too far off the path. Just a little bit, okay, we can deal with that. But when you get to when they go too far off the path that God got for them, right? We can do a little bit and go straight off. But when you all the way straight off, God, you just got to go, yeah, start over. We ain't got enough time to be playing like this. This is what we watching, right? Going right before our face. He over there gang banging, throwing up and all over there. You too far off your path, man. You ain't come here for that. You got to correct some things, and the correction got to start now. You're back on the dark path again. No, I need you to correct that. God is loving. God care about us that much. He loves us that much that he is trying to correct us before it get to that point. We already here, y'all. Already in the season. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La, 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 la. We are already in the season. Some of these people have accumulated so much debt that I don't even know. Look, I ain't God. But I'm just saying, Lord, is they going to be able to come back and fix all that they did? God is trying to get you. You see my phone just focused. God is just, y'all, I'm just going to say, God is loving. God is awesome. When you're doing right, ain't doing right, God still love you. But punishment is still necessary. Discipline. I ain't going to say punishment. Discipline is still necessary. But punishment is such a harsh word. Discipline. Even with myself, too, I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect by far. But I love God, y'all. I love him. But we can love God and still do things that we don't know that we shouldn't be doing. God brought, the first thing I prayed this morning. I said, God, I want to get to know you. I don't want all this extra stuff. I don't want this heaviness. I don't want none of this, God. I just said alone, that's between me and him. But I woke up and some new things was on my phone today. A new dawn, a new day. God knowing you genuine. Even a sinner can be used. You know? So don't feel bad. But one thing that God showed me, that I must start speaking because, and we have to watch in the way that we're delivering things as well. All of God's speakers. All of God's eyes, ears, and mouths. We had to be careful in the which, because we will get in so much trouble. You talking about punishment. You talking about punishment. We will get punished and done. We will get done in the dirtiest way. Go out in the dirtiest way. You're like, how did she end up wrapped around there and slid down? You said, what? That was a freak accident. God is not playing, y'all. God is not playing with us, but he loves us. He baby us, but he ain't playing. He's a stern father, military style. But he love you. He love me too. I was always that person. I could not do what everybody else was doing. I knew that when I was younger. I'd be trying to out there go out what everybody else was doing. I wanted to do it too. You know? What they always say is easier to do wrong than it is right. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And some days I be wanting to go out and do all. I want to do this. I want to do that. I said don't go in there. I'm gifting you something right now. I'm hyping your gifts. Don't you go in that restaurant. Y'all be simple stuff like that. I said don't go in that job with all those. I said don't go in 11:33 on the time. I said don't go inside of that job with all those people when you can go back to work anyways. God, I need to make some money. I can't keep sitting here, Lord. I'm going to apply. And God will block every avenue. Block every avenue. He would use the person sitting in your face. And he'd be like, they keep going doing this. They somebody trying to block all your opportunities. Even God will use the enemy to block you on purpose. Oh, yes. I said, you don't go in there. I'm hiding your gifts. I need you to sit there because you're going to be tired. You're not going to sleep. You're going to be weary. And you're trying to go up in somewhere where you're weak because I'm weakening you to strengthen you. I'm weakening you because I need you to have these gifts. I'm weakening you so you can go be eyes and ears for the people. And you're still going out there inside of these workplaces and spaces trying to do you. Yes, yep, they blackballing you. Yep, and I'm going to let them. And I'm going to let them. Some of us ain't taking the time to think about it. When God is ready, ain't no man can stop him. Ain't no man can stop God. None. It's going to be people coming after you. Denounce God. Tell us you don't believe in him. Get in the jail cell. They will do all kind of stuff to you about God. But understand, no matter what happens, that if it goes that way, it's because God wanted to. Because sometimes God used us to get those people that's been out here antagonizing and doing these nasty things to people. Oh, yes, he do. Oh, yes, he do. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to figure out my way, y'all. I'm still praying. I'm still like, God, should I do this or should I do that? Is they lying to us or is they telling the truth? Is the Bible real or is it a lie? God, it's too much information. You know, that's what my grandmother said, get your own relationship with God. He'll show you. He will show you. He's been showing me. I'm not going to say nothing wrong or nothing right. But one thing God did show me was in Lamentations. I think that was in Lamentations. I'm not 100% sure, y'all. Matter of fact, let me get my Bible. I'm going to see before I get off here. And one of those, whatever one he was talking about with the scroll, and the man ate the scroll, and he said that they death would be on, or their sins or death or whatever it would be, if he don't say anything. If he didn't say anything, and to warn the people that it would be on him, that he would hold that burden of them if he don't say anything. And so I feel like God was trying to tell me something. God been trying to get me to speak for so long, y'all, and I know he have. And I have so many words in here, but it ain't helping because they in my phone. They over there, they in this, they on that, they on a piece of paper somewhere. And God, like, I need you to open up your mouth and speak. I'm going to hold you down. Okay, y'all, the first word, when I put my hands on the Bible, I said, God, give me a word, any word the word that you want me to have. I want to say it was in Ezekiel. The first word was Ezekiel, and the number God was giving me was 1010. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. I think that was Ezekiel. I put a dollar bill, I think it's in. This is Lamentations. I put a dollar inside of there. And the word 769. But the part I was reading, y'all, my bad, I was reading the 2 right there. The 2. But it's 769. These numbers that I've been seeing. The numbers that I've been hearing. Where do it say it at? The road to Zion mourn, for no one comes to her appointed festivals. All her gateways are desolate. Her priest is gone, and her young grieve, and she is in bitter anguish. Her foes have become her masters. Her enemies are at ease. The Lord has brought her grief because of her many sins. Her children have gone into exile, captive before the foe. All the splendor, that wasn't it. Lord has covered daughters of Zion with the cloud of his anger. He has hurled down the splendor of Israel from the heavens of earth. He has not remembered his footstool in the day of his anger. Without pity, the Lord has swallowed the dwelling of Jacob. In his wrath, he has torn down the strongholds of the daughter of... Oh, y'all. I think that's Judas. Hold up. I got a folder right there. But no, that wasn't in there. Got another one here. It says, should women eat their own offspring, the children they have cared for, should the prophet be killed? It says, and prophet be killed into the sanctuary of the Lord. Young and old lie together in the dust of the streets. My young men and women have fallen by the sword. You have slain them in the day of your anger. You have slaughtered them without pity, and you summon to a feast day. So you summon against me terrors on every side. In the day of the Lord anger, no one escaped or survived those I care for and rear. My enemy has destroyed. I am the man who has... Hold on, y'all. Let me get to where I was going. 771. I was looking for 777. That was another one that God was giving me. And when I went to 777, I landed in Ezekiel. That's who I landed in. 777 Ezekiel. 333. I want to say that was Esther. See something. Y'all, the numbers that God has been giving me, all these numbers is of terror. All these numbers is like last days. All these numbers is about correction. All these numbers is about the people. Y'all, and it was so disturbing. I could not stop crying. I got the original video, but y'all, I do not want y'all to see me like that. It was Jerusalem. I think that was Jerusalem. About Jerusalem. Where is it at, God? It's amazing. The pages started to turn by themselves. Y'all, I got the original footage of this stuff, right? But y'all, I couldn't even stop crying to even. And the times I was, my stomach was growling. Then it started talking about a guy gave him the scroll to eat, and how it tasted like honey and sweet and stuff like that. And I just was like, this can't be, this can't be, this can't be. False prophets commended. No, hold on, God. But I seen the pastor today after I read this and was crying. And he was saying, I have to tell y'all because I'm not going to have y'all on my hands. Like, they deaths on their hands, they sins on his hands. He couldn't. And that's crazy that God had just gave me that word and I was crying like that. Another release was in my back. And I just said that. God, where is it at, God? Where is it at? A prophecy against Moab, prophecy against Ephraim. I gotta go back. Jerusalem as a cooking pot. This is where I started. This is what I started at. Jerusalem as a cooking pot. 1010, what God gave me. But this is 797-414 was the number that God was actually giving me. For all the numbers that God has been giving me in these different scriptures. 414 is the number that God been giving me. 1010 is the number that God been giving me. 222, 1111. All these different numbers, y'all. And it's like, I can't ignore this. It's in my face. And everybody looking outside of them about these numbers. Because I'm not the only one getting these numbers. But they like, oh, it's this and it's that and it's this. No, y'all, the numbers are in the Bible. The numbers are in the Bible. What God is saying is in the Bible. It's in the Bible, y'all. It's in the Bible. I don't care about none of that. I can say, is the Bible real? God, like, oh, let me show you. 10, 10, 11, 11, 4, 4, 4, da, 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 da. All these numbers, 3, 3, 3. The first ones that God gave me, he gave me the numbers 4, 4, 4. And when I looked at the 4, 4, 4, it was talking about the crucifixion of Jesus and all this stuff in there. And this was my son first died, right? First passed. God let me see my son in the dream state, y'all. He was the biggest angel ever. He had the armor got on. He had gold armor on. His hair was going down his back, y'all, flitting. He was like 10 feet tall. And all these things. And he said, mama, look at me. Mama, look at me. And I was so scared. I was clenching my covers, y'all. And I'm like, who is you? He said, I'm your son. I was your son here, but I'm an angel over there. We in war. I had to come there for a little while to wake you up. Y'all, this happened to me after my son's passing. He said, y'all got chills. He said, I had to come there and wake you up. He said, it's time for you to get up. You in war. We in battle. We in battle. We in war. He said, I was a baby there, but I'm no baby. This is me. This is who I am. He showed me his true form. And his true form still wasn't even that. His true form was he was a big old angel, y'all, covered in gold, the armor of God. He had the armor of God on him with long, wavy, pretty hair. He's beautiful. And I said, you're not my son. He said, I am. Snoof. I called him Snoof the Wolf. Snoof. That was me and his name, right? So I'm like, oh my God. He said, don't be afraid of me. I'm your son. He said, I was your son there, but I'm your angel. I'm a fighter for you over there. I had to wake you. You were in danger. He said, I love you. I love my sister. I love you. He said, we are in war. It's time to rise. It's time to wake. It's time for you to wake up. And I told multiple people about this. And I'm not even going to go there. Y'all, after that, I was pregnant with twins. One was stuck in my tubes. The other one was stuck in the womb. They had to give me shots in my butt to stop their heart, y'all. All this back to back. All this back to back. Y'all, it was too much. And I don't even want to go into that. But this is the word that God gave me. I didn't know about no Jerusalem, doing all this stuff going on. I didn't know Jerusalem. I didn't know none of this stuff. This is what God gave me. And I have the video when I went to show an example on one of my videos of how I talked to God and what was going on at that time. And I told about the story of Esther. But as I'm telling y'all the story, that I still didn't I still didn't post this video because I couldn't stop freaking crying. But it said, in the ninth year in the 10th month on the 10th day, 1010. I've been seeing 999, 555 as well, 414, 313. Another one been like 411, 911, 711. All these numbers are biblical that God's been giving me. In the 9th year, in the 10th month, on the 10th day, the word of the Lord come to me. Son of man, record his date, this very date, because the king of Babylon has laid siege to Jerusalem this very day. Tell this rebellion people a parable and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Put on the cooking pot, put it on, and pour water into it. Put into it the pieces of meat, all the choice pieces, the legs and the shoulder. Fill it with the best of these bones. Take the pick of the flock, pile wood beneath it for the bones, bring it to a boil, and cook the bones in it. It's crazy because God is telling me to go after this to the other page that he turned to himself in this house, y'all. I got the video of this. I cannot make this up. And the reason how I know God is telling me to tell y'all about that as well is because as I'm reading this, my stomach is about to growl again. Y'all, I'm not hungry, okay? I just ate some french fries and cheese. The little cheese and french fries from Taco Bell. And so it says, bring it to a boil. As I'm telling this. Bring it to a boil. But I'm not hungry, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Hold on. Bring it to a boil and cook the bones in it. It says, for this is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to the day of bloodshed, to the pot now encrusted, whose deposits will not go away. Take the meat out, piece by piece, in whatever order it comes. For the blood she shed is in her midst. She poured it on the bare rock. She did not pour it on the ground, where the dust would cover it. To stir up wrath and to take revenge, I put her blood on the bare rock so that it would not be covered. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Woe to the city of bloodshed. I too will... I want to say this as well. As I'm reading this, and I'm doing this in a way where like it'll cut off and I'll hit record again. But when I looked at the last video, y'all, I heard a noise. I did not pass gas. I just want to let somebody know that because somebody like, what was that? No. But anyways, I'm going to keep going. But it says, okay, it says, woe to the city of bloodshed. I too will pile the wood high. So heap on the wood and kindle the fire. Cook the meat well, mixing in the spices, and let the bones be charred. Then set the empty pot on the coals till it become hot and its copper glows, so that its impurities may be melted and its deposits burn away. It has frustrated all efforts. Its heavy deposit has not been removed, not even by fire. Now your impurities is lewdness, because I tried to cleanse you, but you would not be cleansed from your impurities. You will not be clean again until my wrath against you has subsided. I, the Lord, have spoken. The time has come for me to act. I will not hold back. I will not have pity, nor will I relent. You will be judged according to your conduct and your actions, declare the sovereign Lord. So I was like, okay, because God took me directly to that scripture. Not nothing before then, not after that, nothing after that. Right there, right? 24:14. This is Ezekiel 24:14. And the reason why I knew that God took me directly to that is because the 414, right? The ending of that 414, and this is what I've been seeing. 797. These are the numbers that God give me, right? 769 is another number as well, but I knew exactly from the 414. This is a number that I've been getting. And so I said, what is this? 414, where did this kind of start at? I said, well, that started at Jerusalem as a cooking pat 24. I said, what is that? And this was the clarity, was when I began to read. In the 9th year, I'm like, okay, in the 10th month, on the 10th day, 1010. That is another number that God has been giving me. And so I said, okay, God. I was crying so hard, y'all. I couldn't even get past it, right? I just read this. No tears, no nothing. But when I first got it, I couldn't stop crying. I had snot running down my... It's 11:55. I had so many tears coming down. And I said, what is this? What is this, God? What is this? And I did not understand. I didn't understand what this was. As I'm trying to look up on this here internet, what is this? What is this without me having to go all the way into it, right? And I look it up, and there's a guy on there explaining this verse and what it's for. And he was talking about Jerusalem and how all these things are going to take place and how God has been calling out to Jerusalem to turn to him, basically, right? And I said, what is going on in Jerusalem, right? That ain't what got me, y'all. The pages began to turn by themselves. And it took me to, let me unfold this. Y'all couldn't remember because I was crying so hard. And it was 7 o'clock in the morning and I could not sleep until I got this word out. Right? And I still didn't even get it out because I couldn't stop crying. And I just gave up and went to bed. I was so tired. But do you know, after I read that verse, y'all, the weight started in my back when I started working at this job. And I only been at the job for a month and a week. The weight started and it got heavier and heavier by each day. I prayed and I said, God, what the heck is some cord attachments happening to me? What's going on? I started praying and it lifted just a little bit. Just a little bit. I felt the relief, but that relief was like, right? Oh, God, just a little bit. But I was not releasing because I couldn't get the word. And I was about to go back, and by me going back to work, I was going into that same pattern. And a guy at my job came up to me and called me the N-word and all this stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? God will let the enemy come and assault you because you have a job to do, right? God will allow that enemy to come through towards you so you can get back on your correct path. Because even in that month and that week, I started to fall back in the same patterns. Every single day, I'm up doing this, I'm doing that. And, you know, I wasn't doing nothing wrong, but God got me to do so. He needed to get the word out. And I'm not paying attention. And so I'm in trouble. We all in trouble, right? And so, y'all, I use my dollar bills as bookmarks. Crispy dollar bills. I like the smell of money. But, I'm still human, right? It's always somebody gonna be out there. You're not supposed to be doing it. You ain't a true popular guy. You're not supposed to be. I'm human, y'all. Hold up, okay? I'm trying to figure out my gifts as well. I'm trying to figure out me too. I'm trying to figure out what's going to. Help me, help y'all. Help me, help y'all, okay? Don't tear me down. Build me up. I love you, okay? Y'all need a hug? I'll give you a hug, okay? Then God took me to, y'all still crying and boo-hooing. Even when I call out or cry for help, he shuts out my prayer. He has burned. Y'all, do you know after I got the words, I got to still find this page, but after I got these words out, y'all got to give me another Bible, brand new, highlighters, because God is doing something. And I don't know what he doing. Y'all, I didn't want to be the one delivering this stuff. I didn't want to be the one. Lamentations 2. And how I knew is because it was 769. I seen this number as well. But I said, God, okay. He leave us these things, but you have to figure it out as well as you go. But it landed me on Lamentations 2:5 at the top, right next to Lamentations. Let me turn this around. I seen the 769. That was a familiar number to me. These are this number 769 is a sound that I like to listen to. I think this is a sign or a manifestation or a technique or y'all, I don't know. Just don't quote me, right? But I know that this was a 769 was a familiar number. And Lamentations 2. That's how I got it. God been showing me 2. Pay attention now. How the Lord has covered daughter Zion with the cloud of his anger. He has hurled down the splendor of Israel from heaven to earth. He has not remembered his footstool, and this turned to this by itself as well. These pages turned on their own. How the Lord has covered daughter Zion with the clouds of his anger. He has hurled down the splendor of Israel. So it's Israel, and then the other one is what? Jerusalem. These are the ones. From heaven to earth, he has not remembered his footstool in the day of his anger. Without pity, the Lord has swallowed up all the dwellings of Jacob. In his wrath, he has torn down the strongholds of daughter Judah. He has brought her kingdom and its princes down to the ground in dishonor. In his fierce anger, he has cut off every horn of Israel. He has withdrawn his right hand at the approach of the enemy. He has burned in Jacob like a flaming fire that consumes. Y'all just seen that color? Look at that. That consumes everything. Do y'all know that I read the last bit of this and it cut off on me? The whole thing just cut off. Let me keep on going. Let me turn this back around. I'm going to read it again because the enemy do not want this out. I'm going to read it again. Not the full thing, but where I stopped at. I'm going to start back at 3. In his fierce anger, he has cut off every horn of Israel. He has withdrawn his right hand at the approach of the enemy. He has burned in Jacob like a flaming fire that consumes everything around it. Like an enemy, he has strung up his bow. His right hand is ready. Like a foe, he has slain. All who were pleasuring to the eye has poured out his wrath like fire on the tents of daughter Zion. Notice, stop. The Lord is like an enemy. Who would want the Lord to be their enemy? Jesus. It says the Lord is like an enemy. He has swallowed up Israel. He has swallowed up all her palaces and destroyed her strongholds. Y'all, the light, I'm not doing that. My light in my room is like this. In my last video, the lights were going woo, 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 like in and out. They were changing like the different colors. Look at this. This is what my light looked like. The lightings were changing. The presence of the Lord is here. The presence of the Lord is here. I feel him in the atmosphere. The presence of the Lord is here. But I'm going to say, y'all, in that last video, I don't know, God made me do it over for whatever reason. That's crazy because it's 12, 12 on these dollar bills. I never paid attention to that. On all three, it's 12, 12, 12, 12. Another number God been giving me is 000. The Great Reset. The Great Reset, y'all, it's about to be a great redoing. It is about to get dismantled. It will get ugly before it becomes beautiful again. But some things are about to happen, y'all. And the next one after that he gave me, that shook me to my core, that let me know that I have to deliver these messages, is that when, as I was reading, I was crying the way I was crying. 33 is another number he been giving me. 333. 333 landed me on Esther. The story of Esther. But I'm going to say this. The next one that let me know that I had to... it's 12:11 on this here clock. Where did it go, God? I ended up on somewhere and it was talking about... who was the guy who had the scroll? Y'all might have to go look it up so I can make sure I got it right. The guy who got summoned by God. The guy who got summoned by God to eat that scroll. And when I was reading it, I got hungry before I even got down to the part where he said he ate it or anything. Y'all, my stomach was growling on the camera, y'all. Growling. And I wasn't even hungry. Just said, excuse me, guys, my stomach growling. And I kept reading and started saying about him eating the scroll. And so that let me know that I'm going to deliver this message. And I'm going to deliver it proudly. Oh, yes, I am. And so... to warn the people, to talk to the people, because we can get in just as much trouble, right? When you don't know better, you don't know better, but when you know better, you got to do better. And see, God is training me and helping me along my way too. But I have to do it. And that man said he not carrying people burden. That's the first thing I seen y'all after this. And I prayed this morning, early this morning. I ain't been able to sleep. I prayed early this morning to God. God, I truly want this relationship with you. I truly want this relationship between me and you. We got to be serious, y'all. We don't have enough time to be playing. And so, 777, that was that. Siege of Jerusalem, God's razor of judgment. Now, son of man, take a sharp sword and use it as a barber razor to shave your head and your beard. Then take a set of scales and divide up the hair when the days of the siege come to... That's what it was, 777. Y'all, I'm going to read this. Ezekiel called to be a prophet. That's what it was. That's why I'm like, where's 777? It was 777, y'all. I knew what it was. It's 776 and 777. But I was on 777 and I wasn't quite getting it yet, right? I'm like, hold on, because I understand what this is saying, right? But I said, it's something else got to be in between this page. And I look, I said, what's this? Ezekiel called to be a prophet. This here. I'm going to read this, guys. I don't want to make this too long. I got to do what I'm called to do. I'm not going down for y'all. You hear me? Don't say I didn't tell y'all. I did my job, God. I'm doing it. Y'all, I'm doing it. And do y'all know as I'm doing this, it's another release in my back. It's another release in my back. I'm doing this. I don't care how nobody feel about me. I do not care. God verified it. God verified it here. He said to me, son of man, this is Ezekiel called to be a prophet. This is where God landed me, the last of it. I could not stop crying. He said to me, son of man, stand up on your feet, and I will speak to you. As he spoke, the Spirit came into me and raised me to my feet, and I heard him speaking to me. He said, son of man, I am sending you to the Israelites, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their ancestors have been in revolt against me to this very day. The people who the people to whom I'm sending you are abstinent and stubborn. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, and whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are a rebellious people, they will know that a prophet has been among them. And you, son of man, oh, another release, y'all. Do not be afraid of them or their words. Do not be afraid, though bears and thorns are all around you, and you live among scorpions. Do not be afraid of what they say or be terrified by them, though they are a rebellious people. You must speak my words to them, whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are rebellious. But you, son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not rebel like that rebellious people. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Then I looked and I saw a hand stretched out to me. My stomach started growling right here, y'all. Growling crazy. I got the video, but y'all, I told you I kept crying. I couldn't get it out. Snow was not just, I don't even want y'all seeing me like that. Snot running down my face and my nose. And I, like a 2-year-old who just got a terrible spanking. And so, it says, you must speak my words to them, whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are rebellious. But you, son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not rebel like that rebellious people. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Then I looked and I saw, you must speak my words to them, whether they listen or fail to listen, for they are rebellious. But you, son of man, listen to what I say. Do not rebel like the rebellious people. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Then I looked and I saw a hand stretched out to me, and it was a scroll, which he unrolled before me. On both sides of it were written words of lament and mourning and woe. And this is 1 into 3. And he said to me, son of man, eat what is before you, eat this scroll, then go and speak to the people of Israel. So I opened my mouth. Yeah, my stomach is about to growl again. And he gave me the scroll to eat. Then he said to me, son of man, eat this scroll I am giving you, and fill your stomach with it. So I ate it, and it tasted as sweet as honey in my mouth. Then he then said to me, son of man, go now to the people of Israel and speak my words to them. You are not being sent to a people of obscure speech and strange language, but to the people of Israel. Not too many people of obscure speech and strange language, whose words you cannot understand. Surely if I sent you to them, they would have listened to you. But the people of Israel are not willing to listen to you, because they are not willing to listen to me. For all the Israelites are hundreds of abstinent, but I will see, I think I'm saying that right, abstinent, but I will see, but look, y'all making them own stuff, hold on. But I will make you as unyielding and hardened as them. I will make your forehead like the hardest stone, harder than flint. Do not be afraid of them or terrified by them, though they are rebellious people. And he said to me, son of man, listen carefully and take to heart all the words I speak to you. Go now to the people in exile and speak to them. Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, whether they listen or fail to listen. Then the Spirit lifted me up, and I heard behind me a loud rumbling sound, as if the glory of the Lord rose from the place where it was standing. It was the sound of the wing of the living creature brushing against each other, and the sound of the wheels beside them, a loud rumbling sound. The Spirit then lifted me up and took me away, and I went into bitterness and in the anger of my spirit with the strong. Hold on, let me find where I was at, y'all. I'm going to just start here. The Spirit then lifted me up and took me away, and I went into bitterness and in the anger of my spirit with the strong hand of the Lord on me. I came to the exile where No, I came to the exile who live at the Tel Avani. I don't know how to Avan. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Aviv, near the Kibar River, and there were they. Wait, and there were they were living, and they y'all, and there where they were living. I sat among them for 7 days, deeply distressed. You got Ezekiel's task as a watchman. At the end of the 7 days, Ezekiel's task as a watchman. I have to say that a little bit better. At the end of the 7 days, the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the watchman for the people of Israel. So hear the word I speak and give them warning for me. When I say to the wicked person, you will surely die, and you do not warn them or speak. I got you. Oof, oof. You will surely die, and you do not warn them or speak out to dissuade them from their evil ways in order to save their life. That wicked person will die for their sin, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the wicked person, and they do not turn from their wickedness or from their evil ways, they will die for their sins, but you will have saved yourself. Again, when a righteous person turns from their righteousness and does evil, and I put a stumbling block before them, they will die. They will die. Since you did not warn them, they will die for their sin. The righteous thing that person did will not be remembered, and I will hold you accountable for their blood. But if you do warn the righteous person not to sin, and they do not sin, they will surely live because they took warning, and you will have saved yourself. So this person, so Ezekiel was God's prophet. Ezekiel had a job to do. Y'all got chills. Ezekiel was God's mouth to warn the people to turn away. And if Ezekiel did not go out there and warn the people to turn from their wickedness, Ezekiel had to take the fall for it. Ezekiel's life was on the line because God used Ezekiel to warn and to save man, to warn them. And so I have to be obedient, guys. And I need this burden off my back. I can't carry it. And so I'm warning you guys to turn from your wickedness. I am warning you to turn from your evil ways. I am warning you. You have to turn to God. Me too. And so, with that being said, I don't have a whole bunch of words for that. I don't have a speech. Yeah, I'm in shock. When I first read it, I was crying. Because I knew I was a prophet, but I didn't know. I didn't want to believe it. Especially when you got people around you saying it's not what you are, and they're talking about you and slandering and gossiping, and you just go about your business and put yourself away. But like that story of Esther, Esther had something to do, and she was put away until she had to do that thing, as well as myself. And I'm not allowed to stay quiet anymore, and I have to be obedient. God just explained to me that they are stubborn people. They probably won't listen. They're rebellious. A rebellious people. And so a lot of times they won't. But they won't listen. They think it's a game. God did not bring me here for this, y'all, to play these games. I don't want to be on here talking about this. If God brought me out, we in trouble. If God pulled me out, quiet little old me. Quiet, minding my business, shy, got insecurities. I never thought I'd be the one speaking this type of stuff. Not me. Not me. Not me, y'all. Another release in my back, y'all. I didn't know I had that much pressure in my back. I didn't know I had this much pressure in my back. After each release, I think it's done. And it's still another release. I ain't nobody, y'all. I'm not her. I ain't the one that's telling y'all, God. But I have to be obedient. Please, y'all. Please, please. I don't even know which way to tell y'all to go, but turn to God. Grab your Bibles and cling to it. Grab your babies and start teaching them the word. Get them out of these here social medias. Because they're wrapped with demons and spirits. They're being exposed to things. They're becoming non-human. Right? If we look back at our childhoods, us 90s, 80s, 70s babies, 60, we was outside playing and interacting. These kids are not even interacting with one another anymore like that. Their faces and heads is down, but they learning it from us. It's our fault. It's our fault. As a whole, all the way up to the big guy who sold his soul. You can even turn back to God. God loves us, y'all. God loves us. This coming from a person that's nobody. I ain't nothing, y'all. I ain't nobody, y'all. But God know me. He using me. And I can't do nothing about it. Nothing. Nothing. So, I beg y'all to turn to the word of the Most High God. To repent and ask for forgiveness. As this stuff going on, y'all, I don't even know. It just, as God, I'm still figuring it out. As this go on, all I can do is be obedient to God and let him use me in a way that he sees fit, because I have no say in the matter. I have no say in the matter. None. You have to start forgiving your enemies. You have to forgive the people who did things to you. You got to forgive your mama, your daddy, your grandparents, your kids. You got to forgive, y'all, because the demons is manifesting and it's only getting bigger. When you turn your life around, you will be attacked. I'm gonna warn you of that. You will be up under constant attack. But all I can tell you, y'all, since I've been turning my life around, like, I am trying to figure this thing out, the devil will put things in your way to make you think you're going the right way, man, and you're not. I'm going through this now, y'all. It would speak words of encouragement. It will speak like it's a prophet. It will use things that is not of God to lure us in and say that it's all right, y'all. I don't care how good you think you are, 10 toes down in the word. None of it matters if you don't have your own relationship with God. And you have to open up your mouth and ask God to show you, man. And be genuine. You have to truly, genuinely. Don't just say, oh, I forgive my mama, my daddy. I'm forgiving. But deep down in there, it's a demon laughing at you from the inside out. Inside of you. It's a demon laughing at you from your inside of you. Because you saying that you forgave. You might even walk like you forgave. But subconsciously, you ain't forgave. This coming from a person that's like that. I forgave everybody. And this comes from a person that's asking God to help them to forgive. Get what I'm saying? It's a lot going on right now in this season. A whole bunch. And it just seems like as time going on, like, the world is getting worse. It ain't getting better, y'all. It is not getting better. I don't care how many rainbows and sunshines is out there. I don't care how good a word can even be sometimes. And the thing about it is, like, my grandmother told me to get my own relationship with God, because it's like, even like in a lot of these churches and stuff like that, you got a lot of these pastors that are hell raisers, that are serving the devil. And so you got to be careful. I was watching this other thing, and this guy was saying that he was like some type of voodoo priest, and he was talking about how these different pastors blow up out of nowhere, and that they are serving these different things, and you as the sheep are being fed to the slaughter, took to the slaughter. They're using you to raise up these things. And so that's why it's these entities and these deities and these demons. A lot of y'all don't even know that y'all are full-on devil worshippers. Don't even know it. Because you're sitting in the pulpit with a man who went and sold his soul. Or a woman who went and sold their soul. And they have the Bible in their hand preaching the word after flying over to a voodoo priest to get their church to fill up, to glamour the people in there to keep putting in the pot, and talking about sow a seed. But you're sowing seeds into the devil's territory. Somebody is trying to come after me right now for saying this. But I had to be obedient. And so, I mean, I think that's the best thing my grandmother could have said to me and done for me. Is before she passed, before she started her death rattle, she said, I don't care what you do. I don't care, moo my faith. I don't care what you do. You ain't got to go sit in the church. You get your own relationship with God. Then was her whispers to me. You hear me? Something's coming. She always said she wanted to leave here before it got here. My grandmother was a prophet. And so the difference between our grannies and our granddaddies and stuff era, though, the difference in their era is they can only reach the people so far. They can only do their job so far, and some of them was on and off, on and off. It's not an easy walk, man. But now a lot of us have no excuse because we have different avenues to reach people. Even if the enemy is trying to block you, can't nothing outdo God, right? And so y'all can keep going on and on and on and on. I want to show you at the top of this page where I don't know if I showed y'all the 777. And so, y'all, it's some things that I got to go through. Some homework I got to do. Another release. I told y'all every time I think it's done, it's another one. And I got to figure it out and then come back here and talk to y'all about it. And I'm working with God on this. Like, really. This is a collaboration between me and God. Some days are argument, some days a fight. The stories that he gave me, man. And like even the story of, was that Moses? When he had led the people when they was out there complaining and crying. Even when they was out. Well, guys, it's 12:44 on my end. And it seemed like it's been 12:44 for like the last 2 minutes. It's strange, but I am a part of the 144. And God is telling me to end it. My earphones just started do. I love you guys. If it's God's will, I'll be back on to give another word. A word in between words. However God want this thing to go, y'all, because I'm in God's hands. All the way down the road, y'all. I'm in God's hands. I can't do nothing about it either. Everything has stopped, y'all. I lost everything for nothing. At the hands of the people that I was helping and loving and caring for and giving everything, all of me. Everything is gone, y'all. And it's okay because God showed me how to release the material world. That we don't need the material. We need it, but we don't, right? And 000, the great restart. And the great restart is the stripping of everything, even all what we think that we know. And so, something big is coming. My grandmother said that many years ago. And it's here. That something is here. We are in it, y'all. We are in it. This is not up for debate. I am not debating. I am not going to go back and forth with. We are in the time. Oh, yes, we is. If God is bringing this to me, we are in the time. If God is bringing me up to the forest front to speak, we are in the time. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. Y'all be blessed. Forgive. Turn the other cheek. Forgive. Love. Release. And turn to the word. Turn to God, y'all. I love y'all. And if it's God's will, I'll be back.